Welcome to Hobbs Lady Eagle Basketball on Eagle 100.5, the Hobbs Sports YouTube channel, and HobbsAmerica.com. Tonight's game is proudly presented by NMR Pipeline, Thriftway and La Tienda Grocery Stores, Hydrotech Services, Coffee House, RMS Foods Incorporated, The Outlaw Grill, Albertsons Market, and Eunice Pump and Supply. We are live at Tasker Arena tonight for the final pre-district tune-up for the Hobbs Lady Eagles as they will take on the Artesia Lady Bulldogs. I'm TJ Miracle sitting in tonight for Ty Friend alongside Ron Gunter. Thanks for being with us tonight wherever you are around the world and here in southeast New Mexico. So the Lady Eagles come in at 16-2, Ron, still the number one team in Class 5A and looking to pick up right where they left off 1 week ago with Las Cruces in town.
Yeah, they had a little bit of a break, and most teams would be a little rusty on that one. But with these Lady Eagles, they've been continuing to practice, doing a lot of work on that one, and they're going to remain number one for a long time, it seems.
Well, you've certainly got to think so. Of course, district starting on Tuesday night on the road in Roswell. We will, of course, have that game for you right here on Eagle 100.5 and also on YouTube and HobbsAmerica.com. So the Lady Eagles were supposed to play on Tuesday night against Lubbock Christian. Lubbock Christian, though, deciding that that was a trip that they didn't want to make or they didn't want Hobbs to make. So, got them a couple extra days' work to get ready for what's always a tough Artesia Lady Bulldogs team. Jeff Hodling's squad comes in at 11-7. They've been a little bit up and down, but they are still number 6 in Class 4A and are looking to be a force in that 4A district, which, of course, includes Lovington. But 1 week ago tonight, of course, against a tough Las Cruces team, and I think that was probably a much tougher test than I think anybody thought that the Lady Eagles were going to get. The Lady Bulldogs came in, and they had some success early, but it was the stifling Hobbs defense and especially their rebounding that stretched it out to a 22-point win in the end.
Yeah, it always disrupts a lot of the great offenses or even mediocre offenses, and this Artesia Bulldog is no different. It's going to be the last 6 to 7 games they've won, but I suspect they're going to have a lot of problems against this tough press that happens on both front and back courts.
Well, and that's something that is a signature of a Coach Joey Carpenter-led squad, and it was that press that really turned the heat up against Las Cruces. They only forced 14 turnovers, but there was not many comfortable opportunities for Las Cruces in that ball game. In that game, it was Nakia Mojica leading the scoring with 20 in that ball game. There were 4 Lady Eagles, though, in double digits, 16 for Kendall Cunningham, 12 points for Brett Clay, and 12 points for Kaislyn Muniz. In that game, Clay had a double-double, 12 points to go along with 13 rebounds, 42 rebounds as a squad for the Lady Eagles, and that is really indicative of how tough they can play inside, no matter if it's some of their smaller guards and girls or whether it is the big girls underneath.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see what they're going to do tonight as far as, if it's going to be just halftime for the starters or they're going to have 3 quarters. You never know what Joey Carpenter is going to be doing with his bench. He always likes to play them and get them some time as well. So it could be one of those situations where first half would be the starters, second half could be the bench.
Well, and I've got a feeling that we're probably going to see a lot more of the starters tonight. Of course, really, there's not much drop-off between the 1s and the 2s on this Hobbs Lady Eagles squad, but this is their final pre-district tune-up, and this Artesia team a lot of times is going to play very similar to what Carlsbad is. They play a very similar offense, sometimes a little bit quicker moving. Carlsbad's girls can be a little bit deliberate sometimes. Artesia is going to press, though, a little bit. They're not going to run it the whole game, but they're going to run that kind of high-low, up-and-down offense that you see a lot of times. And Artesia, if you've been following Lovington for the last 3 or 4 years, I mean, there's some names on the Artesia Lady Bulldogs that you're going to recognize that, can give an opposing team fits. The Beltran sisters, Coda and Kimber. Hattie Harrison has also stepped up big over the last couple of years. Lauren Wagner is also a pretty big force inside that Hobbs is going to have to look out for tonight.
Yeah, they gave Roswell Coyotes fits on Tuesday night. In fact, they only held them to 27 points, while Artesia was scoring 46, a 19-point victory for them in their home court. And they also had 6 3-pointers, 2 apiece from Coda and Kimber. Also, Audrey Avillo and Jenna Wittenmeyer also had 1 each. So they're proficient on their three-pointers, also proficient on their free throws. So they don't score a whole lot of points, but they score a whole lot more than their opponent does. At least they did it against Roswell the other night.
Well,
so we're going to say that we'll see if that kind of pulls together and works for this defense that Hobbs is going to be pressing them with.
Well, and Hobbs is going to put the defense on them, and, of course, that's really kind of some of the signature, too, and I'm glad you bring that up, Ron. A defensive game for Artesia. Yeah, maybe they don't score quite as much as the Hobbs Lady Eagles, but they will play tough and tenacious defense. So we'll have to see how it all comes out. Of course, you are live, and we are live here at Tasker Arena. Doubleheader tonight. Of course, right here on Eagle 100.5, we've got the Hobbs Lady Eagles. And about 20 minutes after the conclusion of this one, on our sister station, Cool 95.7, we will have the Hobbs boys game with Max Carranza in studio, engineering and producing. Thanks for being with us tonight. Let's take a 2-minute timeout, come back and continue. You're listening to the Hobbs Lady Eagles on Eagle 100.5 and watching on the Hobbs Sports YouTube channel. And welcome back to Hobbs Lady Eagle Basketball on Eagle 100.5 and also on HobbsAmerica.com and on the Hobbs Sports YouTube channel. With Ron Gunter alongside, I'm TJ Miracle, Max Carranza in studio engineering and producing as we continue this Lady Eagle pregame show. And Ron, we were talking off the air about some of the splits for this Lady Eagle squad.
Yeah, and it's amazing. I know they're number one, and there's a reason why, and that's because they can score 63.1 points per game, while they hold their opponent to a mere 37.8 point a game. You know, we've seen several games, though, that have gone even lower than that. Like, on regard to their first game they had coming in, only held them to 11 points, and that was a big victory for them to start the season, of course.
Well, it sure was, and what was it, the first game of the holiday tournament, what did they give up, 7 points? Do I remember that right?
Yes.
Yeah, that was not the prettiest game on the planet, but a great game for the Hobbs Lady Eagles.
No, sorry, it was 5. I just remembered that.
Okay.
It was 5 points.
See, I was watching from afar on that one and couldn't remember, but yeah, so the Hobbs Lady Eagle defense can get it, and you know, if it wasn't for 55 being put up the other night by Las Cruces, that points given up number would be quite a bit lower.
Exactly, and you know, it doesn't matter if they get, well, you know, most times what happens in the third and fourth quarters, especially as the bench comes out, so it kind of skews the numbers a little bit. But overall, this team could score 80 points easily and hold their opponent to about 30 to even 25 points if they really wanted to. But that's not what Joey Carpenter is all about. He's all about getting his team prepared for district and then, of course, for the championship run into the playoffs.
Well, and that's the important thing is the championship run, and you've got to think, you know, you can't look past a Carlsbad or a Roswell High or Clovis, because any of them could jump up and bite you if you start looking too far down the road. Hobbs wants to go in as that number 1 seed and just go ahead and run on through and get another shot at a state championship. So we'll see what they do. Of course, they won it in 2020 and then have been in the finals the last couple years as the Lady Bulldogs come out on the court wearing the road oranges. Hobbs, of course, will be in the home white when they come out. We are preparing for the national anthem and the introduction of teams, so we'll take another timeout and come back. This is Hobbs Lady Eagle basketball on KEJL, Humble City Hobbs, K263AZ Hobbs. And welcome back to Hobbs Lady Eagle basketball on Eagle 100.5, the Hobbs Sports YouTube channel, and on HobbsAmerica.com. We're also on the Cool 95.7 Facebook page tonight as we prepare for the start of this one with Ron Gunter. I'm TJ Miracle. Starters tonight For the visiting Artesia Lady Bulldogs in the road orange with the black letters and numbers, it'll be number 11, Audrey Vello, number 21, Coda Beltran, number 23, Kimber Beltran, number 25, Jenna Whitmire, and number 32, Hattie Harrison. As the Lady Eagles being introduced out onto the court right now, wearing the home whites with the white letters and numbers with the black pinstripe around the numbers. So coming out and doing it. So, all right, some final thoughts as we get ready for this one tonight here, Ron.
You know, it's going to be a tough go for the Artesia Bulldogs. I think they're happy for the first quarter. Then after that, they're going to be feeling the pressure and just getting out of rhythm for their offense. I believe this is going to be pretty much a lopsided one-way affair, but you never know. I mean, Artesia can pull it in, and maybe they can make this a go of it.
Well, and they're certainly going to try. One thing about an Artesia squad, there is no quit in them, and they can be rough and tough, to be sure, as the Hobbs Lady Eagles coming out onto the floor. Starting five tonight for Joey Carpenter's squad will be number 14, Brett Clay, number 15, Akia Mojica, number 20, Bryn Hargrove, 22, Kendall Cunningham, and 23, Jayla David. So the squad's heading to the Big Eagle at center court, getting ready to jump this one up, and it'll be David taking the jump for the Lady Eagles. And I've got to think it's probably going to be Harrison to take the jump for Artesia. Yep, she had to get rid of a hairpin or something over into the sideline. Of course, Artesia under longtime head coach Jeff Hodling. So it will be Harrison to take the jump against David. And here we go as the man in stripes comes to center court, and the opening tip will be controlled by Cunningham. Comes near side to Hargrove, goes between the legs. She'll bounce it out into the wings to Mojica. Now back into the deep right corner. A bump, no call, and now they're going to call the block foul. And so a quick foul called on Artesia. Let's see, they're going to call that on Beltran. That is Coda Beltran, her first personal, first team foul.
And this series so far is 10-1. It's been a long time since Artesia has won against Hobbs.
So the inbound will come to Hargrove. She will take it from the right to the left, gets it back, and she'll just dribble it around over in front of Taskovich. Goes back now right to left, tries to get into the corner, knocked away by Kimber Beltran, and out of bounds into the stands. It'll stay Hobbs basketball in their own offensive end. And it looks like it'll be Mojica to inbound it from the far side. 23 seconds into the start of this one as the inbound will come in to Hargrove. Comes near side to Clay. Clay trying to find a little room in that zone, and bad pass, and it'll be stolen away. And so Hobbs will turn it over to start things off here in this ball game to Beltran into the front court. Looking for a little room and a little help is Vello. She'll toss it over to Beltran in the far right sideline. Now try to get it into the elbow to Harrison, over back to Beltran. Beltran back to Vello. Beltran, a little head fake, is getting on her quickly, and now Beltran to Beltran for three, and it is good. Kimber Beltran, pardon me, that was Coda Beltran from the left corner, drains the tray, and Coach Carpenter says, what in the world is going on here, ladies? Let's take a minute and talk about it. 6:57 remaining in the first, just a 30, so we will keep it right here, but I'm not sure this is what Coach Carpenter was thinking was going to happen right out of the gate. Artesia, the early 3-0 lead.
Absolutely not. He's not seeing any energy in his girls, and he just wanted to stop it before it got out of hand at 3-0 and say, you know what, you guys, if you're not going to play with energy, I'm sure the others behind me will want to. And just remind them exactly what they need to do in this game.
Still very early, though. So it'll be Brett Clay to inbound it coming out of the timeout. She'll get it into Mojica as Artesia just going to go ahead and drop back in the defensive zone. So they'll give Hobbs the entry into the offensive zone as Mojica will control it over the Big Eagle. Brings it into the front court, directs traffic, takes it over to the right side, inside to Cunningham in the block. Underneath in a reverse layup attempt, and no good by Hargrove, and the rebound is going to be brought down by Vello. So one shot and one miss for the Lady Eagles. Vello working against Mojica, slings it out to Beltran. Beltran to Beltran, another three left wing, and that one is going to be off the mark and out of bounds. Last touched by Clay as she was battling underneath with Whitmire. So it'll stay Artesia Bulldog basketball in their own end.
She shot it from the same distance, just didn't quite get the same result.
Beltran tosses it in to Beltran. And so that'll be Kimber who takes it right side. Comes to Vello near side in front of Taskovich. Minute and a half gone. Hobbs trailing 3-0. Back to Velo, top of the arc, tries to get it in, knocked away and stolen away. Hobbs, Lady Eagle basketball. Lady Eagles in transition. Whoa it up as Artesia drops back quickly. Coming through is Hargrove. She works against Whitmire, brings it from the left to the right, now to the elbow. Using up the dribble and then taking that extra step, picked up that foot. Second turnover for the Hobbs Lady Eagles.
A little bit of a hesitation right there. She wasn't quite sure if she wanted to pass it, then took a step and then passed it. Too late, though.
And now Coach Jeff Hodling going to take a timeout. 6:03 remaining here in the first. 3-0 Artesia in the lead, just a 30. So we will keep it right here. So I think Hobbs coming out maybe not quite anticipating the intensity that Artesia is playing with here in the early going.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to know that they're going to come in here strong because they did it against Carlsbad, even though they lost against them 3 times. They did it well against Roswell and were able to beat them. But, you know, you can never take anybody for granted, even if you are the #1 state Hobbs Lady Eagles. You still got to play the game and win it.
Well, and that's the key, of course. I think Hobbs, once they get it turned on, I'm like you, I think probably going to just be a little too much for Artesia. But Hobbs has got to find some energy, and they've got to find an answer for the intensity out there right now that Artesia is putting forth. So the starters will stay out on the floor for Coach Joey Carpenter. 2 minutes gone here in the first. Just a 3-0 Artesia lead. So the inbound will come from Harrison to Whitmire. Gives it right back to Harrison. Full court pressure is on to Whitmire, and she stops just inside the offensive zone. It crossed the timeline. Couldn't go backwards with it.
Nope.
Beltran to Velo, over to Beltran. As that'll be Coda, who comes near side, slips it back to Velo in front of the scorer's table. 5:42 to go in the first. 3-0 Artesia in the lead. Dangerous pass to Beltran. She works against Clay. She'll take it at the free throw line and toss it deep left corner. Now they'll cycle it back around to Kimber Beltran. Beltran to Beltran. The Beltran sisters playing catch and frustrating Hobbs right now. 3-0 Artesia in the lead. Near side to Velo. Back to Beltran. Beltran to Velo. Over to the other Beltran. They're just basically playing keep away right now.
Exactly. Trying to find a spot that's open, and Hobbs is not letting them do that.
Now some pressure and a bad pass out of bounds as Beltran getting on her quickly was Mojica and frustrating her, and so that'll be the second turnover for Artesia. 2 turnovers apiece now for the Lady Eagles and the Lady Dogs. 5 minutes to go here in the first. A 3-0 lead in favor of Artesia. Into the front court will come Hargrove. She picks up the dribble, bounce pass dangerously into the corner, now out to Cunningham. Cunningham to Clay, deep right corner inside to Cunningham. From the right block, a little push shot, and she'll get it in. Cunningham has her first bucket of the ball game, and Hobbs is on the board. They trail, though, 3-2. Full court press is on, and we're going to have a jump ball called. It'll stay in Artesia's hands, but good hustle play over there by Mojica to tie up Beltran. So now it'll still be Harrison. She'll be inbounding. Artesia basketball to Whitmire. They're going to work it around, and Hobbs will drop back in defense now. Velo to the front court to Beltran over on the far sideline. 4.5 to go in a fast-moving first. Beltran to Beltran. Coming out to guard her is Hargrove. Now in front of Taskovich, that's Beltran. Now back out to Velo in front of the scorer's table. 4:19 to go. As the ball tries to go in and loses it, saves it to Harrison, then a high inlet pass underneath to Whitmire. Misses the point-blank layup, and it'll be Mojica with the rebound, her first. So Hobbs will come down with a chance to take their first lead of the ball game. Inside to Jayla David from the left block. She'll clank it off the front of the iron and into the hand of Velo, her second board. As Velo will run the offense to the front court with Coda Beltran. Good pressure on, and Coda will sail it 5 rows deep into the stands on the far side. Third turnover for the Lady Bulldogs. Give it back to the Lady Eagles.
And that is what the Hobbs Lady Eagles pressure does to you. It makes you try to throw the ball in, and your passes are overboard and just go out of bounds.
So the inbound will come to Clay, who immediately gives it right back to Hargrove. Hargrove will run the point, crosses the Eagle. Takes it to the near side. Then he'll direct traffic, gives it to Mojica. Now tossing it underneath to a wide open Clay off the glass, and good. Use the window, that's what it's there for. Brett Clay has her first bucket of the ball game, and Hobbs has their first lead of the game, 4-3. 3:28 remaining in the first. To Whitmire, top of the arc. Now around to Beltran. Beltran to Velo, working it between the rings. On her quick is Mojica. Back to Beltran, pressure from Clay. Ball pops loose, still loose on the floor. Beltran saves it. Clay will steal it away, and then they are going to call jump ball, but it'll be Hobbs basketball. 4th turnover for Artesia. Good defensive pressure there by Clay.
As the vice is just starting to slowly grip and get tighter for the Artesia Bulldogs.
So the inbound will come from Clay to Mojica, who takes it into the offensive zone. She'll cycle it around to the left side, uses up the dribble to the left elbow, then back to Mojica, left corner for 3, and bang! Akaya Mojica drains the tray, and Hobbs on a 7-0 run with 2:52 to go in the first, lead 7-3. Full court presses on again. Velo bumps against Hargrove, no call. Back to Beltran, uses up the dribble now to Whitmire. All of a sudden, Hobbs' pressure just seems to be getting to Artesia a little bit. Beltran to Whitmire. Getting on her quickly is Cunningham. Whitmire, Beltran. They just play catch, 2:29 to go. Kimber takes it from the right to the left, gets a screen, and we're going to have a foul called. Shot in and out. It will be a floor foul on Hobbs, I've got to think.
It is. It looks like it was a push foul. Looks like it's going to go against, that would be Brett Clay.
Yeah, well, they put it up on an 11. We don't have an 11.
Well, it also has 4 fouls. We don't have 4 fouls for anybody.
Not yet. I'm like you. I think it was on Clay, her first personal, first team foul. And the inbound pass will be stolen away by the Lady Eagles. That'll be the 5th turnover for Artesia. Back down comes Hobbs. To Cunningham at the left elbow, top of the arc, Mojica. Now underneath to Hargrove. 12-footer from the right side, and good. Little jump shot. Hargrove good at that from that spot. Gets it to go 9-0. Now a 9-0 run for Hobbs, and Clay is going to get whistled for a reach foul on the inbound. So that'll be her second personal, second team foul. So now she's going to have to sit for a little while. So Clay comes out. Let's see who checks in her spot.
It's going to be
catch her in just a moment. It's going to be Muniz, who had a very good game against Las Cruces last week. So Muniz in for Clay, who quickly picked up 2 fouls. Now into the front court comes the Lady Bulldogs. 1:49 to go in the first. Into the corner with Beltran. She'll bounce it back out to the other Beltran. Now to Velo. Velo works against Hargrove. Takes it from the right to the left. Goes behind the back under pressure. Trying to get it into Whitmire, and that'll be stolen away by Cunningham. 6 turnover. 5th in a row for Artesia. Mojica into the deep left corner. Bounce pass back to Mojica. She works against Whitmire, and Whitmire takes her to the floor. So for Whitmire, that'll be her first personal, second team foul on Artesia. It'll be on the floor. It'll stay Hobbs basketball. So Muniz will inbound it from just right of the scorer's table. Backcourt to Mojica, who will bring it up over the Eagle. Takes it to the left wing, inside to David in the left block. Pushes off Whitmire. And, they're going to call David for the push-off. So that'll be her first personal, third team foul, and the 3rd turnover for Hobbs.
Yeah, that was very evident that she pushed off there. I understand why, though. She was double-teamed, and she was trying to get free of it, but unfortunately she made it too obvious.
As Mojica will check out, checking into the ball game will be Madison Zapata. So you got Zapata, Hargrove, David, Cunningham, and Muniz on the floor for the Lady Eagles. 9-3, Hobbs in the lead. Still in the backcourt. Beltran will bring it up. That's Velo under pressure. Almost loses it. Good poke, but gets it back. Beltran to Beltran, now throwing it to Beltran. Left corner for 3, and that one is going to be off the mark. And the rebound brought down by Hargrove, her first. Hargrove, the run and gun, back the other way. Gets it forward to a breaking Muniz. Can't get it to go, but there to clean it up. Cunningham with the rebound and the putback. 11-0, the Lady Eagles in the lead. Now the full court press is on an 11-0 run. Beltran into the offensive zone for the Lady Bulldogs. To Velo, tosses it over. Beltran left corner for 3, and that one's good. If you leave her that wide open, she'll get it every time. She's got all 6 of the points on the board for Artesia. To the front court, it'll be Hargrove. Gives it off to Velo, they work it forward to Cunningham, who puts it off the side of the backboard and into the hands of Whitmire. So Artesia will come back down. Beltran with another one in and out. Won't fall, and Cunningham has her second board of the ball game. Cunningham, though, almost losing the basketball. It'll go out. It was last touched by Beltran. So it'll stay Hobbs basketball with 5.8 remaining here in the first.
Artesia may be relying on their threes just a little bit too much. They've had 4, missed 2 already, so they're at 50%.
Into the front court with Hargrove, tosses it too high for Jayla David, and it'll go out of bounds. No turnover as the clock expires on this first quarter. It's Hobbs 11, Artesia 6. We're back in a minute. Hobbs Lady Eagle basketball continues on Eagle 100.5 and the Hobbs Sports YouTube channel. Welcome back to Hobbs Lady Eagle basketball. Start of the second quarter here at Tasker Arena, and we were told we were a little low, so we'll bump that up just a little bit more. Hobbs leading 11-6. I'm TJ Miracle with Ron Gunter alongside Max Carranza in studio engineering and producing. Leading scorer for the Lady Eagles, Kendall Cunningham with 4 in that first quarter. Now it'll be Artesia basketball as we start the second. Hobbs up by 5. Bello gets a little screen from Beltran and will hand it off to Beltran. She'll pull the three-point trigger, top of the arc. It's good. 3 3-pointers for Coda Beltran, keeping Artesia in this one. Mojica to the front court, gives it to Hargrove on a running pass. Bounce to Cunningham on the elbow. Whitmire will force her out. Back to Cunningham. She goes into the left lane, puts it high off the glass, kisses the window, and good. 6 points for Kendall Cunningham. Good look into the middle. They were patient and got her into that post position, and she can make you pay from there. Velo to the front court, goes behind the back where she works against Mojica. The high inlet pass, Beltran will save it on the baseline, tosses back out to Velo. As Velo saves it, slings it near side to Beltran. Another 3, and it is good. She is deadly from that left side. 13-12 now. Hobbs leads by just a point. All 12 points in the books for Coda Beltran. To Mojica on the far sideline. Give it to David. Now they'll work it around to Hargrove. Hargrove works against Beltran and will cycle it out of trouble. Deep left corner to Clay. Back in. Now to Cunningham. Bounce inside to David. Pushes out to Hargrove. Right side for 3. That one is off the mark. And it'll be Clay with the rebound. Her first. Hobbs will reset. Throw the fastball inside to David and count the bucket and the foul. Good positioning there for Jayla David. And looks like they are going to call the hack foul.
Yeah, that was a strong post under the basket. Sorry about that.
No, that's fine. Going to call it on Coda Beltran. Her second personal, as David goes for 3 the old-fashioned way, and it's good. Jayla David has her first 3 points of the ball game, and it'll stretch the lead back up to 4 for the Lady Eagles, 16-12 here in the second quarter. Pressure on for the Lady Eagles as always. Velo with it, gets a screen from Harrison, still loses the ball on the floor. It's loose, it's a scramble for it in front of the Hobbs student section, and they are going to call jump ball. It'll be Hobbs Lady Eagle basketball. 7th turnover for Artesia. Hobbs is going to have to capitalize. Checking in will be Myra Jimenez. She'll go in for Kimber Beltran for Artesia.
Carpenter over there giving them little instructions before they get the ball in.
Mojica, Hargrove, Cunningham, Clay, and David on the floor. It's the 5 starters for the Lady Eagles. Push it in, now push it out. Hargrove left corner for 3, and that one is going to be short-armed. And the rebound by Jimenez, who just checked into the ballgame. Almost gets the pocket pick by Mojica. Weaves through traffic, will leave it off for Velo, right wing, and that one will be an air ball, and it'll go out of bounds. And last touched, they're going to say, by David underneath. Couldn't get the arm pulled back quite quick enough on the air ball.
Yep, didn't expect it to not hit the rim, I suspect.
It'll be Beltran to inbound as checking out will be Hargrove. Coming in her place will be Zepeda. On the inbound to Harrison, and that one is going to be almost stolen away, but Mojica touched it last as she and Beltran were going at it on the near side. Oh, nope, they change it. It'll be Hobbs basketball, so 8 turnover now for Artesia.
There's going to be a confirm on this one to make sure they got it right.
Yeah, one official had pointed Artesia's way. And, yep, they are going to switch it, so it'll be Artesia basketball. One of these years I'm going to start keeping my book and pencil. So still just 7 turnovers for Artesia. 5:54 to go in the first. Fastball in, tipped away. Good hustle over on the far side by Zepeda. They were trying to get it to Jimenez.
Well, luckily for you, Hobbs is going to be able to make that turnover happen pretty quickly. You just got to remember about that.
And now they change it, and they will give it to the Hobbs Lady Eagles.
So just like that, you're back.
So it will be the 8th turnover. Good, I didn't have to scratch anything out by the end of it. So into the front court comes the Lady Eagles. They'll pitch it over to Zepeda in the offensive zone. Corner to Mojica, the fastball into Cunningham, knocked away underneath by Harrison. As now Whitmire will check out and Beltran will check back in. That's Kimber Beltran. Hobbs basketball on their own baseline. Toss it into David. Get it back out. Mojica for 3 and bang! Kaya Mojica, her second 3-ball of the ball game, makes it 19-12. Hobbs in the lead. Pressure is on. Jimenez almost losing it, and she's going to get popped from behind, and they are going to call the reach foul on Mojica. Her first personal, 4th team foul on the Lady Eagles.
Mojica tried to get all the ball, but instead ran into the player in the process, but still always a good defensive effort from the Eagles.
To the front court, it'll be Jimenez controlling it. Actually uses one of the Hobbs girls as a screener, and he'll toss it to Velo. Velo pushes off, comes in, loses the handle on the basketball. 9th turnover for the Lady Bulldogs. Feed it forward to Mojica, and she'll sling it over. Somehow it'll be saved and then go out of bounds. Not able to handle it. Zepeda too hot to handle. 4th turnover for Hobbs, and give it back to Artesia.
Just ran out of real estate on that one. Tried to keep it in, like you said, and just dribbled it out of bounds.
And not sure why she didn't just go for the rack. She had the lane, but still up by 7. We're all right. 19-12, 5:08 to go in the first.
You know, sometimes it's nice to share the rock, but other times it's okay to go ahead and drive
the inbound will be stolen away by Hargrove, who takes it hard to the rack and up and in. Hargrove forces the 10th turnover and gets her 4th point of the ball game. So under the pressure, Beltran to the front court, picks up the dribble in the left elbow, tosses back to Jimenez. She works against Hargrove. Jimenez gets a little pick and a bad pass stolen away by the Lady Eagles, and a quick whistle and a foul going to be called. That'll be, gotta think it's going to be on Jimenez. Nope, they're actually going to call that on Whitmire, who just checked back into the game. Her second personal, 4th team foul on Artesia. What's on the floor is Jayla David will check out. Inbounding, it'll be Zepeda. Checking into the ball game for Hobbs will be Size. Carolina Size comes in, they get it to her, and then they'll give it right back to Brett Clay to the free throw line, to the top of the arc. 3 on the way from Cunningham. That won't go, and out of the tip, it'll be Cunningham, her 3rd rebound. Cunningham tries to drive in, loses the basketball, and falls to the floor. 5th turnover for Hobbs. And back down comes Artesia. They'll sling it over to Jimenez. 2 Lady Eagles get on her quick. Somehow she goes through, gets it to Whitmire in the right block, and she'll push over Clay and put it up and in. Jenna Whitmire has the first points in the book that don't belong to Beltran. And it's 21-14, Hobbs in the lead. Hargrove in the deep right corner. They try and trap her up, though. The fastball to Cunningham in the right block. She'll go over Harrison and be fouled. Shot won't fall, but she'll head to the line to shoot 2. Kind of think it's on Harrison. Yes, it will be. That'll be her first personal, 5th team foul on Artesia. Cunningham will take her first trip to the line tonight. Just the second trip to the line for either team tonight.
And not a lot of fouls going on with this one. Pretty clean so far.
First shot is up from Cunningham, and it is good. She's got 7, leads the way for the Lady Eagles, 22-14. We are right at the halfway point of this first, or rather second period. Now Cunningham gets the first. She'll eye the second. Second one up from Cunningham, and that one is going to be too hard off the iron, and it'll go out of bounds. And last touched by Artesia, as they're going to say that Kaylee Padilla got a hand on it. So Hobbs, even though they missed the free throw, will still have the rock.
which is actually even better than getting that one free throw.
From the right baseline, Hargrove will get it in to Clay. Clay will drive the lane and put it up. It'll roll over the top of the iron and off, but she's fouled. She'll head to the line for 2. And I think we may have another one on Harrison. Actually, they're going to call that on Whitmire, her 3rd. That'll be the 6th team foul, and now it'll be Brett Clay at the line for 2. So Clay bends the knees, puts it up, and that one will be off the front of the iron. No good. Still 22-14 our score. Under 4 to play here in the first half. Brett Clay at the line, missed the first. Will I the second. Puts it up, and that one will go home. 3 points in the books now for Brett Clay. Makes it 23-14. Hobbs has stretched it up to a 9-point lead. And timeout going to be taken by Coach Jeff Hodling. 3:57 remaining here in the first half. Hobbs 23, Artesia 14. We'll be back in 1 minute here on Eagle 100.5. Out of the Artesia timeout, it'll be Lady Bulldog basketball, but Hobbs has taken the lead 23-14, up by 9, their biggest lead of the ball game. From here at Tasker Arena, final pre-district tune-up for the Lady Eagles with Ron Gunter. I'm TJ Miracle. So Artesia Lady Bulldog basketball. And it'll be Harrison to inbound it. She'll toss it into Whitmire's in there with 3 fouls. Not sure about the wisdom of that. To Velo under pressure and through traffic. To Beltran, now back to Velo. 3:48 to go. They probably need to keep somebody in Beltran's face over on that left side.
Definitely.
Just a thought.
Yeah.
She has hit 4 trays, all from basically that same spot. She'll flip a high inlet pass to Velo, give it back to Beltran. They leave her open from the left side, and that one is going to be in and out. Whitmire with the rebound, and the putback won't fall. Ball is loose on the floor. A mad scramble for it, and they are going to call jump ball, and it'll stay Artesia basketball as Whitmire somehow wound up on top of that one, and one of the Lady Eagles slow to get up.
Yes, she is. But she looks all right, but still needs to be off the court for a moment.
That'll be Alana Bolton, who has seen her first action of the day. So Bolton will check out. Jayla David will come back in. David, Cunningham, Mojica, Hargrove, and Zapata on the floor for the Lady Eagles. Beltran, Harrison, Velo on the floor for Artesia. And it'll be Velo who will get it back near the timeline. 23-14, a 9-point Eagle lead. As Velo will get a screen from Whitmire and hand it off to Beltran. They're just going to back off, give her a little bit of room to work with Hargrove on her. A high pass to Padilla, who controls it, trying to get it inside. It tapped back to Padilla. She'll drive into the lane, tries to get it underneath to Harrison, and knocked away at the last moment by Desiree Bosquez, who just checked in for the Lady Eagles a moment ago. So it'll stay Artesia basketball in their offensive zone. Padilla high to Harrison, gets it on the right corner on the inbound. Back to Beltran, going to try the right side this time, and it is good. Coda Beltran, 5 trays in the ball game. Wow, 15 points, leads all scores. But Artesia's only got one other girl in the book. So under intense pressure, and it'll be a turnover for the Lady Eagles. Get it to Whitmire, and she'll break down the floor, puts up a shot, no good. David will come up with the rebound, and they go crashing to the floor. Whitmire will rip it away from her. And then David goes hard to the floor.
And that doesn't look good at all.
No, it doesn't, as Jayla David is down, and she is not feeling good as Whitmire just basically ripped that one away from her. And they are going to go ahead and give Whitmire the points on the board. It'll be a turnover for Hobbs as David is up, and she is not feeling good. Coach Joey Carpenter out there checking on her.
But she was able to get up on her own power. That's a good sign. As she is about to get off the court. So I suspect that she may be back unless she goes in the back to check herself out. And looks like she is going to stick around and not going to have to go to the back.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Maybe just got the wind knocked out of her. Yeah, she is going to go on and go back to the training room, and I think that's probably
that's
probably going to be, I think that is wise, probably a little bit better. So Hobbs Eagle basketball, Lady Eagles lead 23-19, a 4-point lead. It's the 3-point shooting for Artesia that's kept them in it to Cunningham. Fastball to Clay on the baseline. Puts up the point-blank shot. Won't fall. Gets her own rebound, and her putback won't go, but she's going to be fouled for Clay. Her second rebound, and they'll call the hack foul, and Clay will head to the line. Now they're going to call that one on Beltran. Her second personal, 7th team foul. So at the line will be Brett Clay, where she is 1 of 2.
Of course, that is Kimber Beltran.
That's true. Kimber and Coda. Have to start doing like I do for Lovington and just referring to them by their first names. As Clay will rattle that one in and out. No good. So Clay struggling from the line just a little bit.
So are most of the Lady Eagles. They're not hitting as much as they used to.
Second is up and gets it to go. 4 points now in the books for Brett Clay. 24-19. Back to a 5-point lead for the Lady Eagles. Velo will push it forward to Beltran. That is Coda who gets it back to Velo. Harrison trying to find a little room inside. Cunningham doing a nice job keeping her pushed out. On the little pick, Velo goes left side, puts up the short arm. And the rebound going to be brought down by Padilla, her first. Padilla tosses back out to Velo, now to Beltran. Back to Velo, pardon me. Velo with Hargrove on her very tight. Little spin move as she'll put up a 15-footer. It's an air ball and out of bounds. Give it to the Hobbs Lady Eagles.
Smart move, not touching it, noticing that it was an air ball and was going out of bounds.
So the inbound will come from Mojica to Hargrove. She'll run the point. Lady Eagles into the front court. Back to Mojica on the far side. Padilla on her to Hargrove. Left corner wide open. Look at three and bang! Bryn Hargrove drains the three-pointer, and Hobbs is back up by 8, 27-19. 90 seconds to go here in this first half, and they are going to get an over the back on Brett Clay. It'll be a floor foul for Clay. That's her third personal, just the 5th team foul. This is Hobbs Lady Eagle basketball on KEJL, Humble City Hobbs, K263 AZ Hobbs, Eagle 100.5. Watching live and free around the world too on the Hobbs Sports YouTube channel and on HobbsAmerica.com.
Hobbs has a couple of fouls to give before they get into bonus.
So they'll get it to Whitmire, who throws it into Harrison, and she's going to be partially blocked out, and it'll wind up in the hands of the Hobbs Lady Eagles. So Hobbs will bring it across. That's Zepeda almost losing it, pushing it to Mojica. Throwing in and too high and too hot to handle for Cunningham. Kendall probably gets that one if she's 6 inches taller, but she's not 6 inches taller.
And a little faster, too. Yeah, it just went right by her. She tried to get it with one hand. Normally you want to try to get those with two.
Ninth turnover for Hobbs, and Padilla will bring it up against Cunningham, who's going to block it out of there with authority and clean, too. I don't know how she got all ball on that one, but she did. The ref was right there on it, so good block by Cunningham.
Another one of those moments, not in my house.
Amen. So it'll be Coda Beltran to inbound it, as Padilla will check out. Checking in her place will be Muniz. As the push in to Harrison, and she's going to be blocked by David. Great defense by the Lady Eagles. To Hargrove, into the lane, and gets the roll. Bryn Hargrove leading the Lady Eagles. Pressure is on, under a minute to play. A 10-point lead for Hobbs, their biggest of the ball game. Eagle faithful wanting to walk on Whitmire, not going to get it, and she'll just outfight one of the Lady Eagles for the basketball, and they'll push it over. And Beltran again for three, in and out, as David going to go under and get the rebound, and she's going to get clocked by Whitmire. So David going to take the 85-foot walk down the floor, and if I'm not mistaken on Whitmire, that's her fourth.
It could very well be. And
they've got 5 on the board. I've only got 4 in the book.
No, I don't believe that because unless they kick her out, I've seen that before where they've had somebody in 5, and I don't think that's correct.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's just 4. We'll see. But Jayla David now will head to the line for the 1-and-1. David, 1 of 1 from the stripe, has 3 points.
You know, there's a reason why Hobbs has got all but 2 coaches voting for them number 1 in the state as well as in 5A. And this is the reason why. They play very hard and very, very tough D.
Front end of the 1-and-1 is up and good, so David will get another shot at it. She's got 4 points in the ball game. 35 seconds to go first half, 30-19, an 11-point lead, their biggest of the game now. So David got the first, gets the second. She's got 5 in the ball game. Now 31-19. Hobbs starting to stretch it out just a little bit. Full court press is on. They'll get it over to Kimber, who will take it into the front court in front of the scorer's table. Uses upper dribble now to Velo. Velo works between the rings with Hargrove on her. Sling it over to the far side to Kimber. On her is Muniz. Back to Velo. Just kind of a desperation, get it out of there kind of thing. Velo will push it over to Padilla in the right wing. She'll try and drive it in. Going to be pushed out by David. 7 seconds to go. Artesia trying to get Beltran free for another look at three. With two. Velo from almost half court will clink it off the front of the iron and won't fall. And we head to the half. It's Hobbs 31, Artesia 19. We'll be back in 3 minutes for your Hobbs Lady Eagle halftime show. This is Hobbs Lady Eagle basketball on Eagle 100.5. Welcome back to Hobbs Lady Eagle basketball here on Eagle 100.5 with Ron Gunter. I'm TJ Miracle, Max Carranza in studio engineering and producing. Halftime, and while they have wiped the scoreboards off, the score is 31-19. I can't imagine that Artesia said, no, we're done.
Right, I know.
Or I can't imagine Hobbs saying they're done. So 31-19 is our halftime score. Let's take a look at the numbers in this one for the Artesia Lady Bulldogs. It has been the Coda Beltran show. She's got 15 of their 19 points, all of them from beyond the arc. 5 trays that she managed to drain in that first half. So that was pretty impressive. You got to give credit where credit is due. The only other scorer in the book was Jenna Whitmire. She had 4 points, but also 4 fouls, and she is their leading rebounder. She had 3. For Artesia in the rebounding category, they had 7 collectively as a team. And let's see, turnovers 13 in the first half for Artesia. They did not have one free throw attempt in the first half. I'm not sure the last time I saw a game that a team didn't have a single free throw, at least attempt, in a whole half. 6 points in the first, 13 in the second for Artesia. That's how they get to their 19 on the board. Turning the page for your Hobbs Lady Eagles. Bryn Hargrove leads the charge. She's got 9 in the books, followed by Kendall Cunningham with 7. 6 points for Nakia Mojica. Both of her buckets coming from beyond the arc. Jayla David with 5 points in the first half, and Brett Clay with 4. Cunningham leads the way in the rebounding category. She's cleaned off the glass 3 times. 9 collective rebounds for the Lady Eagles as a team. They go 6 of 9 from the free throw line. 9 turnovers.
As we continue watching the
as
boys.
we continue here, on the warm-up and reconnecting to Eagle 100.5. So sorry about that, Max. So we'll get that reconnected on the radio side. But where was I? Yes, the Hobbs Lady Eagles, 9 turnovers in the first half, get 11 points in the first, 20 in the second. So, all right, Ron, a little bit of a slow start for Hobbs, but they managed to stretch it out as they got into the second especially.
Yeah, and it's okay for the Lady Eagles to have a slow start because they always tend to tighten it up, especially in the second quarter. Third quarter do the same thing. They don't relent. They continue to put the pressure on the offense, make it to where they have to work for every score. In fact, there was just one a moment ago where one of the Hobbs Eagles looked like they got hurt. It was an easy shot, and she still missed it. They got the layup after the rebound, however, simply because the Eagle got hurt and got the point. And however, it is not coming easy for these Artesia Lady Bulldogs to get any points at all. And that's simply because this pressure from the Eagles' offense or defense is putting so much pressure on them that they don't know which way to go. And they definitely can't get an inside lane on the paint. That's why they're shooting these threes so far. And all Hobbs has to do is just cut that off. And then Artesia is going to struggle to get any points at all in the second half.
Well, and I think you're exactly right on that. Hobbs just going to continue to do what they are doing on this and, let everything take care of it just like they are. The Lady Eagles, of course, leading this one by a score of 31-19. I'm a little surprised that Coach Jeff Hodling has kept Jenna Whitmire in there and let her pick up 4 fouls. She's really their main presence underneath and in the low post. So if you're Hobbs, do you go ahead and attack her quick and see if you can get her out of there? She's the only girl other than Coda Beltran who's got any points on the board.
Absolutely you do. You attack the weaknesses. That's what Joey Carpenter always does. Attacks the weaknesses, although I suspect if the coach is going to be smart enough, he's going to keep her out of the third quarter at least and try to see if he can get her back in the fourth quarter and make a difference before she fouls out.
And maybe keep a hand in the face of Coda Beltran. Just saying.
Exactly.
5 3-pointers in that first half. The only thing really that's keeping Artesia in this one. So we are getting ready for the start of the third quarter. This has been your Hobbs Lady Eagle halftime report. We'll be back for the start of the second half coming up. This is Hobbs Lady Eagle basketball on Eagle 100.5, HobbsAmerica.com, and the Hobbs Sports YouTube channel. Welcome back to Tasker Arena. Hobbs Lady Eagle basketball against the Artesia Lady Bulldogs tonight here on Eagle 100.5 and on HobbsAmerica.com and the Hobbs Sports YouTube channel. Of course, coming up about 20 minutes after the conclusion of this one, we'll have the Hobbs boys taking on the Artesia boys in their final pre-district tune-up. That'll be here on the Hobbs Sports YouTube channel, and we'll shift the radio coverage over to our sister station, Cool 95.7. Alongside Ron Gunter, I'm TJ Miracle, Max Carranza in studio engineering and producing. It'll be Zepeda, David, Cunningham, Mojica, and Hargrove getting the start in the second half for the Lady Eagles. It'll be Beltran, Jimenez, Beltran, Harrison, and Padilla on the floor, looks like. Nope, that's Velo, okay. And Velo on the floor for Artesia. No, it'll be Mojica to inbound it from in front of Taskovich, right at center court. Hobbs leading 31-19. So Hargrove will get the inbound, and she'll bring it over the big H. Give it off to Mojica as Padilla pressures. Back to Hargrove. Cycles it to Mojica, almost loses the basketball. Now she'll toss it to David at the free throw line. Back to the corner, bad pass, stolen away. 10th turnover for the Lady Eagles. Deja vu all over again. That's pretty much how the first half started. Velo to the front court. He'll toss it to Padilla. She'll throw the fastball to Harrison on the left elbow. She'll drive it in on the left side, put up a clanker, hits the bottom of the iron and into the hands of Cunningham, her fourth. Cunningham feeds it forward to a breaking Mojica, who will lay it up and in. Mojica now with 8 points for Hobbs, and it's 33-19. A little bit of backcourt pressure for the Lady Eagles as Padilla will bring it up. As she works against Zepeda, and fastball thrown and intercepted. And coming back down the other way, Hobbs Lady Eagles, Hargrove will bring it up and take it in. 11 for Bryn Hargrove.
Two fast break points for the Lady Eagles, making it look easy so far.
Padilla to Velo, who goes behind the back to try and get out of pressure. You've got to think they're going to try and get Beltran over in that far corner. She likes that left side. So Velo splits two Lady Eagles, but gets pushed out by Mojica. Good job
she's hit
for her.
On the right side, too.
And we'll have a turnover as the heels of Beltran on the far side were on the sideline. So that'll be turnover number 15. As Coda just a little bit out of position there.
Yep, didn't know where she was at and got caught out of bounds.
Hargrove to the front court. Hobbs Lady Eagles off of the turnover to Mojica. Uses up the dribble, quickly flips it back, and Hargrove will toss it back to Mojica. Inside to David, and they'll play ring around the arc now. Hargrove to Cunningham, thinks about the 17-footer, now takes it in to the left block and banks it off the glass, and good. Cunningham with 9.
That's what I like to see, forcing the issue, getting those easy shots inside the paint.
Kimber to the front court, tosses to Padilla. Padilla works against Muniz, who just checked into the ball game. She'll split traffic, throw it underneath, and stolen away by Cunningham. And down come the Lady Eagles, but a bad pass, and Artesia will have it right back. Now they'll toss it to Beltran. That's Kimber, who gets it to Coda, left wing for 3, and of course it's good. 18 points for Coda Beltran, and timeout gonna be taken by Artesia. This will be a full timeout. 5:44 remaining in the third quarter. Hobbs 37, Artesia 22. We're back in 30 on Eagle 100.5. Back here at Tasker Arena out of the Artesia timeout. It'll be Hobbs basketball leading 37-22, the 15-point lead. I'm TJ Miracle with Ron Gunter alongside. Lady Eagles looking to improve to 17-2, but we still got a long way to go in this one. To the front court, it'll be Hargrove. Underneath to a wide open David. They lost her in the back door, and Jayla will lay it up and in for her 7th point of the ball game. Saw him actually working on that when I was up here working on some tech stuff yesterday. And it worked to perfection that time. And another steal away for the Lady Eagles. Give it to Mojica in the right lane. Underhand scoop and up and in. Mojica now with 10 in the ball game. 41-22. Hobbs trying to stretch their legs. Another pass, another steal. As Cunningham jumps in the way of that one that was intended for Padilla. So Hobbs back on the offensive march. Get it underneath, and Muniz loses the basketball, and it'll go out of bounds. David, though, a heroic effort trying to save it. Muniz, I think, maybe just got a little bit in front of herself right there on the baseline.
Lady Eagles on a 10-3 run so far in this third quarter start.
Harrison will inbound it under intense pressure. She'll get it to Velo as Hargrove and Muniz both on her. She'll get it to Kimber as Muniz will get to her quickly, not give her a look at it. Push it back near side. That is going to be to Padilla. Padilla, move it around to Harrison. Then the high inlet pass trying to go underneath. Stolen away by David. Throw it to Cunningham. A little turnaround jumper from 5. No good, but David is there to clean it up. And her putback won't fall. And it'll go out of bounds. You got to hit those point-blank layups, but it'll stay Hobbs basketball as Beltran got the last hand on it. Checking in for Artesia will be Abigail Housechild. Hobbs leading 41-22, a 19-point lead. 4:26 to go here in the third. Push it into Cunningham, who pushes back to Hargrove. Hargrove weaves through traffic. Her underhand scoop, no good, but David is there with the rebound, and that time Jayla makes it go. 9 points in the game for Jayla David, and it's a 21-point lead for Hobbs. Keeping the pressure up as we hit the halfway mark of this third period. Velo still in the backcourt. Will take it up under pressure from Muniz. Takes it to the left side, hands it off to Beltran. Muniz picks her up quickly, and then they're going to call the little push on Muniz. Well, that'll be her first personal. And that'll just be the first team foul, though, on Hobbs. They have played an extremely clean game.
Exactly. Even when they pressure them, they don't get as many calls as you'd think they would.
Beltran to Beltran, who puts up the 3. That's Kimber, and off the glass, and good. So Kimber Beltran with her first points of the ball game. The Beltran sisters have combined for 21 of the 25 on the board for Artesia. Fastball into Cunningham. She'll short arm it. Clanks off the front of the iron, but she was under pressure there from Beltran. That was Kimber. They'll get it to Cota. The high pass, trying to get it into Harrison. Knocked away. 20th turnover. Back into the hands of the Lady Eagles. To the front court comes Hobbs to David. Spins through the right lane, and they are going to call the charge on David.
Unfortunate, but seems to be true.
Her second personal. That'll be the 13th turnover for Hobbs. Second team foul on Hobbs. So give it back to Artesia. 3:26 remaining here in the quarter. 43-25. Hobbs up by 18. Cunningham will check out. Brett Clay will check in. Clay having to sit for significant time in the third with 3 fouls. As Velo goes behind the back, pushes to Beltran in the left corner, back to Velo. Hobbs gets to her quickly. Now to Kimber near side. Kimber to Velo to Cota. Cota to Kimber, right wing for 3, and that one will be off the mark. And Brett Clay goes over everybody and will make the rebound. Cleaning the glass off, and she'll bring it back down. Uses up the dribble, gives it to the left wing, and a 3 on the way by Hargrove, and bang! Her second tray of the ball game. 14 points in the game for Bryn Hargrove. Back up by 21. Steal on the inbound as Clay to David. The 10-foot push off of the glass, and good. Jayla David, 11 points, 6 of them coming here in the third. 48-25. Another steal on the inbound, and up and in by Mojica.
And the Lady Eagles are on fire right now.
Mojica now with 12 in the ball game. 50-25, a 25-point lead. Velo under pressure, spins away, gets it to Beltran. Beltran to Beltran, that's Cota. Left wing, her 3 ball is up and good. Beltran is putting on a 3-point exhibition, and a whistle gonna sound. I'm not sure what the call is gonna be. We are gonna have a foul, or no foul. Coach Jeff Hodling wants Oh, I think it was a warning to Coach Hodling to stay off the floor as he was up and he was not happy. So 50-28. He may not be happy, but Beltran is on fire from beyond the arc. 7 trays in the ball game. Wow. Yeah. That's got to be a record for Artesia. Into the corner for Muniz. Her 3 ball. That one is off the mark, and it'll be Mojica with the rebound to Hargrove from the top of the arc. That one's not going to go, and Beltran will tap it. Wow, how did she not touch that before it went out? I thought she touched it.
No, I don't think she did, but either way, the refs didn't see it if she did touch it, and it's going to be Artesia ball.
Well, you and the refs agree, so I will go with the men in stripes. And it'll be Artesia basketball in front of the Hobbs student section. Under intense pressure. As moving it around, a pass over to Kimber. Picking her up is Hargrove. She'll throw it to Coda. Then back to Velo, top of the arc. Now back to Kimber. Hargrove works against her, Coda. Top of the arc, going to back it out under pressure from Zepeda. They're just going to play catch. And now, and out of the reach and saving it, trying to save it, but right into the hands of the Hobbs Lady Eagles is Beltran. Mojica brings it down from 13 and up and in. Mojica, 8 points in the quarter, makes it 52-28. 1:10 to go, and pressure almost stolen away on the inbound once again. Hobbs is relentless, Ron.
Absolutely they are, and that's exactly the way they like to play.
And a bump, no call, and Beltran will get the high pass into the front court. It'll go out of bounds, and that's just good pressure on the far side by the Hobbs Lady Eagles, forcing another Artesia turnover.
And they don't know which way it's up at this point.
52-28. Lady Eagles in command of this one as they have turned it on here in the third. Mojica almost gets it stolen away, and it will get stolen away on a bad pass. That'll be the 14th turnover, and trying to steal it back is Hargrove, and they're going to call her for the foul. So Hargrove, her first personal, just the third team foul on the Lady Eagles.
Got a score update from Jow for the girls. In half, it's 15-11 right now over Hagerman. As they inbound it for
Of course, that
Artesia.
Game also on HobbsAmerica.com. From your friends here at New Walmart Digital and One Radio Square Sports. 30 seconds to go in the third quarter of this one. Beltran works against Clay, and then Clay pretty much just forces her to throw that one away. 25 turnovers now for Artesia.
Yeah, and the Artesia Bulldog wasn't even ready for it. Didn't even know it was coming to her until it was too late.
Clay on the inbound, gets it to Hargrove, who gives it back to Clay as they cross the timeline. Working the far side of the court. Clay surveys, bounce it to Hargrove, right corner for 3. That one is going to be off the mark, and Zepeda will wind up with the rebound. Smallest girl on the court gives it to Hargrove. Her 12-footer won't go, but Brand will get her own rebound. Or pardon me, that's Clay. Clay, and at the buzzer, David gonna miss on the little toss out, but we head to the fourth. It is Hobbs in command. 52-28 over Artesia. We're back in a minute right here on Eagle 100.5. Back here at Tasker Arena, start of the fourth quarter. Hobbs in command over Artesia, 52-28. With Ron Gunter, I'm TJ Miracle. Of course, the Hobbs boys will be playing immediately following this one here on the Hobbs Sports YouTube channel, and we'll move the radio dial over to Cool 95.7, and the fastball almost goes in off the face of Jayla David. I have to put a rebound in the book for Velo for that one, as they'll get it to Beltran. Her 3 No good that time, and the ball going to go out of bounds and last touched by Desiree Bosquez in for this fourth quarter.
Yeah, that was close. It was a fight between the two, and Hobbs was trying to get the ball in the end. Even though it looked like it was out of bounds for Artesia, but instead Hobbs gets the out of bounds.
As Beltran, that is Cota, will get it into Kimber. He'll swing it around to Velo. 52-28, 7.5 remaining in the ball game. Hobbs looking to improve to 17-2, trying to get it inside to Whitmire, who's back in with 4 fouls. She works against David and trying to get it in again, and knocked away as David and Clay both converging. Not sure if they were trying to get that to Harrison or Whitmire, but Hobbs was there instead in the form of Clay and David.
Yeah, so sometimes it's just whoever you can get it to at the time.
The deep corner, Beltran will get it into Velo to Whitmire at the free throw line, gets bumped. And now out to Velo. WNBA 3 is up, and Velo will have her first points of the ball game. 52-31, still a 21-point lead for Hobbs. As Hargrove to the front court, to Clay, back to Hargrove, working the far side. Little head fake as Hargrove will drive it into the paint and up and in on the little underhand shot. Bryn Hargrove with 16 points leads the way for the Lady Eagles. Velo breaks the pressure. They'll get it to Harrison, who's pretty much been a non-factor in this one. And a bad pass and stolen away once again. The Lady Eagles are off and running. Brett Clay bounces it over to Zepeda. Zepeda to the baseline, and Bosquez will push it out to Clay, who pushes to Hargrove, right corner for 3, and bang! Bryn Hargrove in fuego. 19 points leads the way, and it's 57-31. Hobbs in the lead. And trying to get it in, and they can't. Well, they do, but into the hands of Brett Clay, forcing the turnover. Hobbs basketball. Get it back to Clay from Hargrove. She'll drive in, toss it underneath to David, who drives and is going to be hacked. As she caught one in the chops from Hattie Harrison, her second personal. That is just the first team foul in the half on Artesia.
Not a whole lot of foul calls. I'm liking the fact that they're at least letting them play and not calling these ticky-tacky fouls like you see from time to time.
So Jayla David will head to the line to shoot 2. Her first is up and gets the roll. She's got 12 points for the Lady Eagles. 3 Lady Eagles in double figures. Hargrove leads the way, followed by Mojica and then David. Kendall Cunningham just behind with 9 points. So David made the first. Will eye the second.
As we do so, we're getting closer and closer to that 35.
As David will put that one up and not going to fall, but the rebound will be brought out by Mojica. That'll be her third. Mojica, long cross-court pass, and they'll get it to Bosquez, who puts up a little sidewinder. No good, but David will get the rebound, and she'll go hard to the floor, and she'll go to the line for 2. Jayla David's 5th rebound. Sorry, Ron.
That's all right, and she did that with 3 Bulldogs right around her. I was surprised that she was the one that was able to get that ball, but that's how tenacious she is.
As they are going to call the hack foul. They're going to call that on Myra Jimenez, her first personal. So David back at the line, puts up the first, and she was 4 for 4, and she's missed her last 2. Score still 58-31. 5:59 remaining in the ball game. Hobbs Lady Eagles in command. David's second is up, and that one won't go, and it'll be Beltran with the rebound. That's Cota. Cota keeps it, and she'll toss it off to Padilla. Still in the backcourt, now crossing the timeline. Padilla, though, Mojica nearly picks her pocket and then goes between her legs. And are they going to call a foul or are they going to call a jump ball? They call the jump ball. It'll stay Artesia basketball. But that's really just heads-up play from Mojica to see that it's loose on the floor and she can get through the legs and grab it.
Exactly, and not getting a foul either. That's really heads-up play.
Muniz checking into the ball game. Cunningham back in the game as well for the Lady Eagles. As the 2:15s go at it, Padilla double dribbling, and it'll be a turnover. Pardon me, that's Jimenez. So that'll be turnover number 28 for Artesia. So Hobbs basketball, 58-31, 27-point lead, and knocking it away, that's Padilla, Kaylee Padilla.
Yep, just out of the hands of Muniz, as she was trying to get it to keep the play going.
Hobbs basketball as the inbound will come in to Mojica. Mojica to Clay, back to Mojica, inside to Cunningham in the right block. Bounce it on the baseline to Bosquez. She'll put up a little push and is fouled. The shot clanks off the iron as they are going to whistle Jimenez. That'll be her second personal, and it'll be the third team foul on Artesia. So now it'll be Bosquez at the line, her first trip to the stripe, and she'll put up the first and gets the roll. Hits the front, hits the back, and then goes through the threads. So she's in the scorebook tonight.
Yes,
Bosquez got the first and can't get the second to go. And coming away with the rebound for them will be Claudia Castillo. So Castillo with the rebound for Artesia. Jimenez uses up the dribble. They'll work it around to Beltran to Jimenez. Back with it between the rings. Mojica comes over, almost gets the ball away from her. Toss it underneath to Whitmire. She'll put up a little turnaround jumper under pressure, and she'll get that one to fall. Whitmire with 6 points in the ball game. 59-33, 4:50 remaining in the ball game. Push it out to Clay, to Mojica, now near side to Muniz. Now push it back to Mojica. Mojica works against Whitmire with 4:40 remaining and 59-33 in the lead. Hobbs works it into Cunningham, and they're going to call a floor foul, and I think that's going to do it for Whitmire.
You may be right about that one. Depends on which.
Yep, that'll be on Whitmire.
Yes,
her
indeed.
fifth personal, fourth team foul, so she'll foul out of this ball game with 3 rebounds and 6 points and 5 fouls. So Whitmire's done for the night.
Well, she did last longer than you thought she was. She did start the third quarter, and she made it all the way into the middle of the fourth.
So it'll stay Hobbs basketball after the foul. Mojica tosses it in, and it'll clank off of the underside of the basket. They were trying to get Cunningham in the low post, but it'll wind up being a turnover for Hobbs. They're 15th. More than they are accustomed to. A little bit sloppy play at times, but they're still well in control of this one. I bet, though, they were going to be cleaning that up in practice the next couple of days.
Absolutely.
Velo to the front court where she works against Muniz. Tosses off to Kimber, who works now against Mojica. Kimber to Coda. Clay on Coda. Back to Kimber, who drives in, loses the basketball. Another turnover. Back down come the Hobbs Lady Eagles. As Muniz, a little head fake and scoop it up and put it in. Muniz, her first points of the ball game. 61-33, and she'll steal the inbound away and toss it to Cunningham for 3, and that one is going to be off the mark, and Bosquez will have the rebound. Hobbs will reset 61-33 up. And then it'll be Cunningham weaving through traffic and bounces around and finally falls. 63-33, the 30-point lead now for the Lady Eagles. Of course, they're biggest of the ball game. Starting a little slow, but they have kicked it up. Velo to the front court. Tosses it around to Beltran. That's Coda to Kimber on the near side. 3.5 to go. Is Velo going to direct traffic? Mojica comes out on her. And picking her up now is Bosquez, as underneath, and Kimber goes for the reverse layup, and she is fouled underneath. Bosquez, I think, going to get whistled for the foul.
I believe you're right about that. Yes, indeed.
Desiree Bosquez, that'll be her first personal. 5th team foul on the Lady Eagles. And this will be the first trip to the line tonight for Artesia. And it comes with 3:14 remaining in the ball game in the form of Kimber Beltran.
Yeah, they're just not able to get any kind of luck whatsoever on the shots.
First for Beltran is up and good. Of course, Artesia going to be back in Lee County next Friday night in Lovington, the district opener in 3-4A. I have that game for you on the Lovington Sports YouTube, Hobbs America. Second shot for Beltran is up and good. Of course, we're proud to bring you all of our teams, boys and girls, all over Lee County. Hobbs boys coming up here in just a few minutes after the conclusion of this one. Into the front court comes Hargrove, who checked back into the ball game. Hargrove splits through traffic and will put up a little trick shot and pushes it up and in. Hargrove over 20 now, 21 in the ball game. Back up to a 30-point lead for the Lady Eagles. Velo with 2:45 gets a screen from Beltran, and then a block foul going to be called. They're going to whistle that one on Hargrove. And that'll be her second personal. 6th team foul on the Lady Eagles.
Not sure exactly how she could have avoided that one. It looked like it was just natural. However, the ref saw it differently. You know, they're also working on their averages, too. Hobbs is on both our offensive and defensive averages.
So, yep, that's a great point. So it'll be Padilla to inbound, and she'll have to get it into the backcourt, but that's where Velo will corral it. Velo to Beltran as Clay gets to her quickly on the far side. Has to toss it. Now back, coming near side as they just work it around now. It'll be Beltran to Velo, WNBA 3. That one is going to be short, and it'll be Hargrove with the rebound. Hargrove, her second board of the ball game. Got it on the long bounce. Toss it inside to Cunningham. Now toss it out to Clay. Clay bounce pass to Hargrove. And she's just going to back it up. 2 minutes remaining in the ball game. A 30-point lead for the Lady Eagles.
Yep, choose some clock time is what it looks like.
Yep, I think that's exactly what they're going to do. To Mojica. She works against Beltran. Now near side to Hargrove in front of the student section. Under 2 to play. I mean, Hobbs can really just dribble this out if they want to. Throw it inside, trying to get Clay cutting back door, but it'll be stolen away by Artesia. So they'll bring it back as Beltran, deep left corner, gets bumped, puts up her three, no good, and that's a bad foul by Bosquez. And so that will put Artesia at the line for 3. Bosquez, that'll be her second personal, 7th team foul. Not that it matters, but Artesia going to be in the bonus for the last 142 of this one.
Yeah, took them all but 3:42 left, and now they've been up again on the free throw line.
First one for Beltran is up, and that one's no good. Clanks off the front of the iron. So she misses the first, but she's still got 2 more. She's got 21, leads the way for Artesia. Second shot on the way as Beltran will get that one through. Now 22 for Coda Beltran, leading the way.
Yeah, scored something other than a tray.
Bosquez will check out. Replacements coming in for the Lady Eagles. Second shot on the way, and that one is good for Beltran. She's got 23. So Hobbs basketball, 141 remaining in the ball game. Richardson in the ball game for Hobbs. They'll come near side to Hargrove. And then bounce it to Mojica. 3 ball on the way. That one is going to be off the mark. Fighting underneath for it is Richardson, but it'll go out of bounds. But last touch by Artesia. It stays Hobbs basketball. No inbounding. It'll be Mojica from the right base. She will sling it in and get it to Hargrove. She backs up from beyond the arc, and that one is going to be off the mark. Richardson goes up, tries for it, touches it last as it goes out of bounds. As the 242s battling, Castillo and Richardson. So 1:19 to go, back in the hands of Artesia. 28-point Hobbs Lady Eagle lead. Going behind the back is Velo. Turning on the Jets and getting it to the front court. Mojica, though, all over her. So she backs it between the rings. Now gets his little screen from Beltran, but staying with her nicely is Mojica. Clay going to pick up Beltran now, who brings it left, gets a screen from Padilla. And now she'll pull another three-point trigger. That one off the mark, and Mojica with the rebound. That'll be her 4th. So Mojica just going to keep it herself to the front court, under a minute to play. And a pass knocked away by Padilla and into the student section. No, it'll stay Hobbs Lady Eagle basketball. Of course, coming up about 15 minutes after the conclusion of this one, we'll have the Hobbs Eagles, the boys, playing here on the Hobbs Sports YouTube channel. And we'll move the radio coverage over to Cool 95.7. Hobbs Lady Eagles throw the fastball inside to Cunningham from the left side and up and in. Kendall Cunningham with 13 points for Hobbs. Puts it back up to a 30-point lead. Somewhat of a statement tonight, I would think, for the Lady Eagles, Ron.
Oh, absolutely they are. They're definitely making a statement. They're number 1 and they intend on staying that way.
And Artesia not an easy out as Padilla from 3, and that one is going to be off the mark. And it'll be Mojica tracking down another one, her 5th board of the ball game. 14 points, 5 rebounds for Mojica as that'll end it. The Hobbs Lady Eagles victorious tonight, 67-37. We will take a 2-minute timeout, come back and wrap this one up, get you ready for the Hobbs Eagles. This is Hobbs Lady Eagle basketball on Eagle 100.5. Welcome back to your Lady Eagle postgame show here on Eagle 100.5 with Ron Gunter. I'm TJ Miracle. Hobbs victorious tonight, 67-37, improved to 17-2 on the year. Let's take a final look at the numbers in this one. We will start with Artesia. Their leading scorer tonight was Coda Beltran, 23 points. And 21 of those coming from beyond the arc. 7 3-pointers in the ballgame for her. 6 points for Jenna Whitmire. You had 5 points for Kimber Beltran and 3 points for Audrey Vello. They go 4 of 5 from the free throw line in the ballgame. Their leading rebounder was Whitmire with 3. Vello also with 3. 11 rebounds as a team for Artesia. They turned the ball over 25 times in the contest. Turning the page for your Hobbs Lady Eagles. You've got 4 Lady Eagles in double digits tonight, led by Bryn Hargrove with 21. 14 points for Nakia Mojica, 13 points. Kendall Cunningham, 12 points for Jayla David. Also in the book, 4 points for Brett Clay, 2 points for Caitlin Muniz, and 1 point for Desiree Bosquez. Leading rebounder was Mojica and David, each with 5. 22 rebounds cumulatively as a team for the Lady Eagles. They go 8 of 14 from the line, 16 turnovers, but most importantly, they get the win, 67-37, the 30-point victory to improve to make that 17-2 going into district play next week, Ron.
Yeah, they are who they said they are. They definitely came in here dominating. They started off a little slow. Carpenter pulled a quick timeout after the first minute, was able to get the team back into it. Of course, they really started to tighten the grip on the control of the game. And the more they did, the less that Artesia had a chance of scoring. They did have those plenty of threes from the same area, or at least the same areas, and made that look easy. Otherwise, if they hadn't done that, this would have been a real blowout for the Artesia Bulldogs.
That could have been. So now the Hobbs Eagles going to try and make sure that the Orange Nation goes home sad, as they'll be coming up here in just about 15 minutes or so on our sister station, Cool 95.7. We'll just keep the stream open right here on HobbsAmerica.com and the Hobbs Sports YouTube channel. So big victory tonight, 67-37 for the Lady Eagles. Hobbs Lady Eagle basketball brought to you by NMR Pipeline, Thriftway and La Tienda Grocery Stores, Hydrotech Services, The Coffee House, RMS Foods Incorporated, Outlaw Grill, Albertsons Market, and Eunice Pump and Supply. With Max Carranza in studio, engineering and producing alongside Ron Gunter, I'm TJ Miracle. So long here on Eagle 100.5. We'll see you in just a few minutes over on Cool 95.7. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Tasker Arena. Hobbs Eagle basketball on KLEA, Hobbs Lovington, Cool 95.7, the Hobbs Sports YouTube channel, and HobbsAmerica.com. Alongside Ron Gunter, I'm TJ Miracles sitting in for Ty Friend tonight as the Hobbs Eagles will be taking on the Artesia Bulldogs. Hobbs looking to get to 500 on the year after seemingly being on the road basically forever. Finally get to come home to the friendly confines of Tasker Arena, but no easy out in front of them tonight as the Artesia Bulldogs coming in at 10-8 and looking for a little momentum going into their district season too, Ron. But Hobbs 9-10. It's kind of been a little uneven, I guess we could say, for the Eagles this season.
Yeah, but it's mostly been in the fourth quarter where they've been having their most woes. In fact, on several of those games, they have actually led, but in the last three games, they've lost. So they're trying to break that three-game losing streak as we're heading into the district. You know, on the other hand, though, Artesia also, they are 6 out of 7 in the last games, won those. In fact, they won the last one against Roswell, not convincingly, but enough to where they were able to get that victory. I believe it was 69-63 was the final on that one on Tuesday night.
So, of course, Tuesday night will be the district opener for the Hobbs Eagles as they'll be taking on Roswell High right back here at the friendly confines of world-famous Tasker Arena. I don't know, after you guys were on the road so much, does this almost feel like a road game, Ron?
It kind of does because to me it's almost like it's a little foreign. It takes me a little while to get back into it. We've been through so many different places that this one just pretty much seems like it's foreign. You know, not used to the hot and the cold in here, but getting used to it now. So maybe by the end of this game, it'll be feeling like a home game for us all. Of course, we've also, here's the other thing about the Hobbs that we need to learn about or at least know about. They are 2-6 right now at home. They have not been that way for a while. They need to win out the rest of the game of the season to be able to get back to a 500. They have not been 500 below 500 ever, at least in the Ralph Tasker and beyond. Last time they got close to it was 2020, and they shortened a 10-game season, and that was at 2-2. So Hobbs working to see if they can keep from being a losing record at home, where, of course, I'm sure they wouldn't enjoy that.
No, they certainly would not, and Coach Shelby Reeves and his staff would not enjoy that either. But, you know, there's something special about this place. Hobbs, you've got a feeling, is going to come in and play incredibly tough this season, but a tough test, as we mentioned, with Artesia in town. Let's take a 2-minute timeout, come back and continue with your Hobbs Eagle pregame show right here on Cool 95.7 and the Hobbs Sports YouTube channel. Welcome back to Hobbs Eagle basketball here on Cool 95.7, the Hobbs Sports YouTube channel, and HobbsAmerica.com. For Ty Friend tonight, I'm TJ Biracle filling in alongside Ron Gunter. Max Carranza in studio engineering and producing. This is your Eagle pregame show as the Eagles get ready to take on the Artesia Bulldogs. And you mentioned earlier during the pregame show, Ron, for the Eagles, they've had a lead, and sometimes not an insignificant lead, going into the second half of ball games, but sometimes just seems like it kind of gets frittered away. What's been going on?
Well, it's just been bad offense as far as they've been trying to pass around, get in inside the lane. It doesn't work. Plus, three-point shots, been missing those. Oh, yeah, and also from time to time when they really do bad, the free throw shots, they make a difference as well. But in the end, basically, it's all about turnovers, whether it be travels, throwing it out of bounds or whatnot. And in fact, the last game they had, they were trying to get it to bounce it off the opponent, trying to get it out of bounds, and instead what turned out to be a turnover because it didn't go out of bounds like it wanted to, and the defense was able to pick it up from the offense for the Eagles, and just made a whole lot of mess. And before you knew it, it was like, Hobbs led. Next thing you know, you blink, and they're behind, and they're still not quite sure exactly what the answer is to get back into the game once they lose that lead.
Well, and it's a lot about not losing the lead, I think, and sometimes you have to learn how to do that. 21.1 points per game for Michael Mackey. He leads the Hobbs Eagles in pretty much every statistical category that there is. I'm thinking, and I don't have it right in front of me, but points, rebounds, steals, blocks.
And you're right.
He leads it all. Hobbs needs to find that second and third option, and that can help take some of the pressure off, especially when the offense starts struggling a little bit if you're not only relying on just one guy.
Yeah, and it was Pena that was hitting a lot of three-pointers. In fact, he's had 33 this season. He is expected to come up maybe and do some good. The other thing is sometimes Mackey, when he does well, of course Hobbs does well, and when he gets swallowed up, whether it be in the first half or the second half, then Hobbs tends to struggle a little bit to get back on the offense. So they have other people that come up, but they're not consistent like Michael Mackey is. Problem is as a lot of teams know, if you just double-team Michael Mackey just long enough, he can make a couple of mistakes, and it'll go in your favor.
Well, and your starting five for tonight, of course, Mackey is going to be on the floor. Starters for your Hobbs Eagles will be number 10, Michael Mackey, number 22, Abraham Pena, number 30, Peyton Hodge, number 34, Brian Acosta, and number 42, Chris Archibek. For the visiting Artesia Bulldogs, their starters tonight will be number 3, Nick Sanchez, number 4, Cameron Thorpe, number 22, Diego Wesson, number 40, Chance Campbell, and number 42, Riley Jarrett. For this Artesia team, they're going to be big and physical inside, which is what Hobbs is going to see, especially against Carlsbad later on this season. And I've called a lot of Artesia games over the last couple of years doing Lovington. Artesia likes to shoot the 3-2, and they've got Sanchez and Wesson especially, who if they get an open look, especially in the left corner, they can be absolutely deadly. So you got to be aware of that and keep somebody in their face.
Yeah, and Nick Sanchez usually leads from scores. Last week, or actually the other day against Roswell, he had 19 points. He was the only double-digit scorer, along with Diego, who had 9, Diego Wesson. Riley Jarrett, who had 8 points, and Chance Campbell had 7. All the rest pretty much were low numbers. But, yeah, you got to pretty much, if you can contain the main scorer, which is Nick Sanchez, number 3, then you got a good chance of controlling this Artesia Bulldogs team and get the victory in the end.
Well, and that's what you want to do if you're the Eagles. A victory in the end will get you to 500 going into the district schedule, which starts Tuesday right here at the friendly confines of Tasker Arena. Hobbs right now 14th seeded and ranked in Class 5A. So that puts them right on the playoff bubble, Ron, and they need to work on getting back in the plus 500 column, especially, just win district, and then you don't have to worry about it. But, yeah, you want to make sure that you've got a little more of a cushion. You do not want to be on that bubble sitting there come Selection Sunday. Artesia number 6 in Class 4A, and I think they are picked to win their district. But, anything can happen. Michael Mondragon, the coach of Artesia, of course, Shelby Reeves, the Hobbs Eagle boss. We will take a timeout, come back, and get this one tipped off. This is Hobbs Eagle basketball on Cool 95.7 and HobbsAmerica.com. Welcome back to Hobbs Eagle Basketball here on Cool 95.7, HobbsAmerica.com, and the Hobbs Sports YouTube channel. Sitting in for Ty Friend tonight, I'm TJ Miracle alongside Ron Gunter. Max Carranza in studio, engineering and producing. Great to have you with us wherever you are tonight around southeast New Mexico, West Texas, and the world. So Artesia comes in at 10-8 on the season under head coach Michael Mondragon. They are wearing the road whites with the orange letters and numbers for the Hobbs Eagles under head coach Shelby Reeves. 9-10, they're in the home black with the white letters and numbers and the gold trim. So the players, teams being introduced out onto the court right now. So final thoughts as we get ready to tip this one off, Ron.
Man, this is going to be a good game either way. Artesia playing above their class have been for some of the season. That means they're going to be ready for the district. However, Hobbs also been playing a little bit above, and they've been losing a couple. The only reason why they're so good as far as their ranking is because of strength and schedule. I'm sure they're going to have a good side on both sides, and Hobbs is wanting to come out here early and put up some points as often as they can.
Well, score early, score often, and then keep them from doing it too. I think tonight for Hobbs, one of the keys is going to be keeping this Artesia Bulldogs squad out of the paint. They are quite a bit bigger than a lot of the smaller school teams that you will see, but if you collapse them and you keep them out of the paint, you've also got to at least be aware of their outside shooters. They have a lot of ways they can get to you defensively. Artesia, under Coach Mondragon, they play a very tight defense, and they can run a full court trap press, and they will do that probably. It just depends on what kind of mood Coach Mondragon's in, I usually think. But, you know, he learned that from his uncle, who was the longtime coach at Clarendon. And so he can, he can ratchet the pressure up. It'll be incumbent on Coach Reeves' Eagle squad to deal with that pressure. And again, like you said, score early, score often.
Exactly. You know, this series goes back to 1953-54, where it's right now it's 54 wins and 3 losses. Hobbs leading big time. Of course, that doesn't mean anything at all because these two teams are going to play like it's 0-0, and they're going to come out with intensity.
Well, it certainly is, and especially Artesia. They don't want to come all the way over to Lee County and have to go back over to Eddy County with the loss in the books. They'll be back next week to open their district schedule at Lovington. Hobbs, of course, will be opening district Tuesday night right here at Tasker Arena against Roswell High. Starting 5 again tonight for the visiting Bulldogs will be Nick Sanchez, Cameron Thorpe, Diego Weston, Chance Campbell, and Riley Jarrett. For your Hobbs Eagles, it'll be Michael Mackey who leads the way for the season in all the statistical categories. Also out on the court tonight, Abraham Pena, Peyton Hodge, Brian Acosta, and Chris Archibek. So that'll be your starting 5 tonight for the Eagles and the Bulldogs as the Eagles huddle up around Coach Shelby Reeves, get their final instructions for tonight. Artesia on the floor, they are ready to go. It'll be Jarrett going into the middle to take the jump for the Bulldogs. Great crowd on hand tonight, a blackout night for these Hobbs Eagles, and a lot of the crowd wearing black. Pretty good crowd, and quite a few folks making the trip over from Artesia as well. So heading into the center circle to take the jump, it'll be Mackey jumping against Jarrett. And here we go, Hobbs and Artesia. Hobbs Eagle basketball here on Cool 95.7. So into the Big H, and the opening tip will be controlled by Sanchez for Artesia. So Sanchez and Artesia will have it off the opening tip. They'll bring it into the front court. Sanchez works against Pena. It's a screen from Jarrett, uses up his dribble, comes near side to Thorpe. Picking him up quickly is Hernandez in the ball game. So we had a late change for Hobbs. And slinging it out. No, that is Hodge. Pardon me. I was reading the wrong thing. And a little head fake by Thorpe. He drives in, puts up the 7-footer. That one is no good, and the rebound going to be ripped down by Archibek. Archibek to Mackey, running the other way. Put it up, count the bucket of the foul on the right side.
And that's what we need, Mackey to be hot early on as we get this game started. Of course, he's also been pretty good on the line. He's been missing a few occasionally, but overall he's about 85-90%, which is a whole lot better than most of the other Hobbs Eagles right now.
So Mackey gets to go for 3 the old-fashioned way. Got the bucket and gives Hobbs the early 2-0 lead. So from the stripe, Mackey will eye it, sky it, and gets it. So the 3-0 lead here early. We are 40 seconds into this one. 3-0 Hobbs. The inbound comes to Sanchez. And it'll be Hodge who picks him up. Into the front court. They are going to bounce it over into the far side. And driving in is Wesson. And he's going to go in hard and get fouled. And I think they are going to whistle Abraham Pena on that one. See for sure who they put it up on the board. Yep, it will be on Pena. His first personal, first team foul. And it'll put Wesson at the line to shoot 2.
And that'll make it a little difficult for Hobbs to get in the game if they are going to be penalized over there. But I like the fact that Artesia has been aggressive early on in this game.
They are being aggressive, but so is Hobbs. And if Hobbs can counter that aggression, could be good things. As Wesson missed the first, now he'll eye the second.
Yeah, we'd like to see him come out like they did against Cleveland just a couple of weeks ago.
Second one is up and good, and so Artesia is on the board. 3-1, Hobbs in the lead, 1 minute into this one. The inbound will come into Mackey, and he'll direct traffic as he crosses the timeline. Tosses it into the corner for Pena, and they will work it around now to Chisholm, who just checked into the ballgame. Chisholm to Mackey. Mackey drives in, contact, no call, and he will get his own rebound, put it up and in. Mackey with his first rebound, and he's got all 5 on the board for the Eagles. 6:45 to go in the first. Sanchez turns around in the right block, and that one will be off the mark, and pulling down the rebound will be Hodge for the Eagles. Gets tipped. They'll get it to Pena from the left block. That one is going to be off the mark. Mackey with the rebound, and his putback is going to be partially blocked. Getting to it is Chisholm. He gets a couple of rebounds on that one, and it'll finally go out of bounds, and last touch by Hobbs into Artesia's hands.
That's unfortunate, but that's just the way the ball bounces sometimes.
So the inbound will come in from Jarrett. He'll get it into Sanchez, as Hodge will suck up on him as he gets over, and they'll bounce it over into the corner for Wesson as they will work it around. Sanchez works against Hodge, now will drive into the paint, puts up a shot, no good. Mackey will have his third rebound. Mackey keeps it himself to the front court, toss it over to Pena, left wing for 3. That one is going to be off the mark, and the trees underneath. That was Campbell with the rebound, his first. They'll push it forward to nobody and out of bounds. Thorpe was looking the other way. First turnover for Artesia. Give it back to the Eagles with 6 to go here in the first. 5-1, Hobbs in the lead on 2 buckets and a free throw by Michael Mackey. So the inbound will come from Mackey to Hodge, who gives it right back to Mackey. Mackey over the Eagle, hands it off to Pena. And near side to Hodge. Not just a whole lot of pressure as they'll work it now to number 42, Archibek. Archibek back to Mackey as they'll work the near side. That's the right side from our perspective. Hodge, NBA 3 from the right side. That one is off the back of the iron, and a whistle sounds. And a push off on Archibek, and it'll be Artesia basketball.
And that's unfortunate, too, as they're talking to see exactly who got that foul.
Yeah, and I think they're still discussing it, so I'm not sure who wound up with it. Now they're gonna have a just a big conference about it.
So this will give some teams a little time to be able to tell what they're going to do next, or at least confab on it.
Yeah, kind of catch their breath a little bit there.
That too.
And they are going to call the push foul. And they will call it on Archibek. That'll be his first personal, second team foul on Hobbs. So give it over to the Bulldogs as Jarrett will inbound it to Sanchez. He runs the point, hands it off to Wesson. Works it to the left side, now hand it off to Thorpe. Thorpe to Sanchez. Hobbs staying with him pretty tight. A little pick as Sanchez runs out of room. Out to Thorpe, then has to bounce it back out to Sanchez. Good defensive pressure for the Hobbs Eagles. They'll bounce it to Thorpe inside to Wesson, who they lost on the baseline. He'll put up a wild shot and get fouled underneath. Couple of Eagles in the neighborhood. Are they going to get Pena or are they going to get Chisholm for it? That'll be the question. And I think they're going to get Chisholm.
They did.
Yep, that'll be his first personal, third team foul on the Eagles. So it'll put Diego Wesson at the line for 2. He's 1 of 2 from the stripe. Hobbs leading 5-1, 5:10 remaining here in the first. So Wesson eyes it, puts it up, and gets the roll on that one. And now it's 5-2. Hobbs leads by 3. Hobbs has had their opportunities, but just hadn't been able to get anything to fall yet, other than those 2 by Mackey. Second on the way from Wesson, and that one is good. But now down to a 2-point lead. Hobbs Eagle basketball. Into the front court will be Mackey. Tossing it around to Pena. They'll work it to Chisholm now. Chisholm works against Jarrett. Chisholm needing some room. Mackey comes over and helps out. Thorpe stays on him, reaches out. Pull up from 16 on the right base, and that one not going to fall and into the hands of Sanchez off the front of the iron. Artesia back the other way, and they will give it to Jarrett, who airballs it underneath. Mackey will wind up with it on the near side, turns on the Jets, brings it into the front court. Shake and bake, pulls up from about 15 on the right side, and good. 7 points for Mackey. Hobbs leads this one 7-3. 4.5 to go in the first. Sanchez to the front court to the right block. Splits it up, no good. Jarrett with the rebound. His putback won't fall. Fight for the rebound, and Chisholm will come up with his third, and then he is going to be fouled. Are they going to call the foul on Hobbs? Surely not.
Well, stranger things have happened, especially since it's right in front of the coach.
I think they're going to call that on Devin Ruiz. See what they put on the board. Yeah, it will be on Ruiz of Artesia. His first personal, 4th team foul. Sorry, just the 2nd team foul. I can't read my own handwriting, as Coach Shelby Reeves is not a happy man down on that baseline under the bucket.
No.
I think he wanted a flagrant maybe. Didn't get it. So into the front court come the Eagles. Mackey tosses over to Vega, checking into the ball game. Now back out top of the arc, Archibek. Archibek handing it off to Pena. Pena to the free throw line. And now they'll just toss it back out and reset with Archibek. As the Eagles will work it around. Mackey from the free throw line over Thorpe. Gets hit, no call, and the rebound is going to be brought down by Deans checking into the game. They'll throw it down, and we'll have a travel there as Anicio Hernandez travels. 2nd turnover for the Bulldogs. Give it back to Hobbs. 3:55 to go here in the first.
And that's another turnover for Artesia.
Yep, that'll be their 2nd turnover of the ball game. So into the front court comes Pena. As Pena to Vega, back to Pena, now to Archibek. He'll take it to the left block and then be forced out by Hernandez, and he's going to double dribble coming through. First turnover for the Eagles.
That was a bad stumble. He was trying to get something done, didn't know exactly what, got confused, and ended up turning the ball over.
So give it back to the Artesia Bulldogs as Hernandez inbounds it to Sanchez. Sanchez to the front court, where he will work against Pena. Now over to the far sideline. Checking in is Nye Estrada. Back to Sanchez. He'll fall away from the left side from 15 and get fouled. Going to call the push foul on Pena. That'll be his 2nd personal. It'll be the 4th team foul on the Eagles. And that'll put Sanchez at the line to shoot 2.
Yeah, we don't want to see early foul trouble for the Eagles.
No, we do not. Now Nick Sanchez at the line for 2, puts the right toe on the stripe, bends the knees, puts the first one up, and gets it to roll over the iron. All 4 of Artesia's points coming from the free throw line. As Archibek will check out, coming in his place will be Brian Acosta. Also back into the ball game will be Peyton Hodge. Coming into is Caleb Lehman.
And, of course, you do not want Sanchez on the line. He is pretty good at it. So far 1 for 1 and
make it 2 for 2. Go back to the Hobbs Eagles now, just up by 2, 7-5. Into the front court comes Hobbs as they'll get it and work it around. As Vega handing it to Lehman. And now they'll kick it off to the right side. Chisholm for 3 and bang! Jordan Chisholm drains the 3 ball from the right wing and will double up Artesia now 10-5. 3 minutes remaining here in this first quarter. Hobbs Artesia from Tasker Arena tonight. As Sanchez looks for a little help, and he'll pull up NBA 3 top of the arc, and it is good. I think I mentioned in the pregame show he could be deadly from beyond the arc. He's certainly broken the Wildcats' hearts a couple of times. Back down come the Eagles as Acosta throws the fastball inside to a breaking Chisholm, and it is up and in. Got him coming through the lane. That was a beauty.
It was a work of art.
12-8, and down comes Sanchez, and he tries to split 2 Eagles and is going to be fouled. I really hate it when they call that foul. I realize they do it and why they do it. Jordan Chisholm, his 2nd personal, 5th team foul on the Eagles. So already Artesia inching towards the bonus, and we've still got 2:29 to go here in the first.
And it's just a matter of getting quick enough and setting your feet and being able to be seen by the referees on that one. So and this is going to be inbounded.
They do change it to, yeah, you're right, to the floor foul as Estrada to inbound it. Hobbs pressuring it. They'll toss it in and get it to Wesson back out near center court, and he immediately hands it off to Sanchez. Out on him is Hodge as Sanchez looking for some room. Gets a little pick set by Hernandez. Hands it off to Estrada. He'll cycle left to right. Bounces underneath, and a whistle going to sound. I don't know why. Jarrett
away from the ball.
Yeah. I don't know what there's no foul called, so I don't know. And Artesia keeps the ball, so Estrada gets it into Sanchez. 15-foot fall away from the right side, and he will get the tiny bowl roll on that one. 7 points for Nick Sanchez. It's 12-10. Hobbs still in the lead. Into the right corner, 3-ball up and in and out by Vega, and the rebound brought down by Jarrett, his second. So back comes Artesia with a chance to tie it. Sanchez slips and slides and goes to the floor, and they call the travel before he could get that one off. Third turnover for the Bulldogs. Hobbs gets a bit of a break right there.
Yeah, I was going to say, no matter what he did, he slipped and fell, and that definitely should have been a travel.
As Vega will inbound it, gets it into Hodge. He'll sling it near side to Chisholm, and they'll work it top of the arc now to Lehman. Lehman to Acosta. Now back to Hodge in the right wing. He'll pull the NBA three-point trigger, and that one is going to be in and out, and skying for it is Estrada. Back to Artesia. 90 seconds to go in the first. 12-10. Hobbs in the lead. To the left block, and that one going to be short-armed by Sanchez, and the rebound going to be made for the Eagles, and a foul called actually on Hobbs. So no rebound as they're going to call the push on Archibek. That'll be his first personal, and the 6th-team foul on Hobbs. I don't know if they called it on 42 the other way, so on Jarrett, his first personal. That'll be the 5th-team foul. Just the 3rd-team foul on Artesia. I keep wanting to give them more fouls than they actually have.
Yeah, they don't need help.
No, they do not. So Archibek will get the rebound. And Mackey back in the ball game to Chisholm to Hodge. As Hodge will work against Sanchez. Three-pointer from the right corner, and bang! Peyton Hodge drains the tray, and now it's 15-10. Back to a 5-point lead for the Eagles. 60 seconds remaining in the first. Sanchez works against Hodge on the right side, drives right base, and he is going to be rejected with authority by Chisholm, but back into the hands of Estrada, and a rejection from Jarrett as Chisholm is 3 blocks right there, and they're finally going to whistle him for his 3rd personal. The Hobbs faithful not liking it, but that is some monster work inside as Coach Shelby Reeves goes, come on, man.
You know, everybody in the court, everybody here that is Hobbs, especially saw nothing but ball connected on that one. However, the referees disagree on that one, and so that puts him on the line to shoot 2.
So Jarrett at the line has the 3rd foul picked up by Chisholm, but he's playing big boy ball inside as Jarrett will get the roll over the front of the iron. 15-11 is the score. So Chisholm going to have to check out and go sit. So he'll head out as Archibek will come in. So Riley Jarrett at the line made the first. He'll eye the second as Zapeth Zamaron prepares to check in for Artesia. Second shot is up for Jarrett, and that one is going to be off of the mark, and Mackey with the rebound, his 5th. Mackey will keep it himself with 45 seconds to go as he crosses the timeline, working the Hobbs offensive zone. Mackey directing traffic to Lehman. He'll throw it over to Vega, now into the deep right corner. Driving in will be Acosta. Kicks it off, deep left corner for 3, and that one is going to be in and out, but Archibek with the 3rd rebound. His turnaround is up and good. Archibek has his first bucket of the ball game. 17-11 for the Eagles. 20 seconds to go. Artesia, I've got to think, going to be playing for the last shot.
Indeed.
So Sanchez to the front court, gets a little screen from Jarrett, and Estrada loses the ball on the court, and 4th turnover and a quick foul as slamming the court is Sanchez, his first personal. That'll be the 4th team foul on Artesia. Give it to the Eagles. So now the Eagles with 9 seconds left to work with will have a chance at the last shot.
Plenty of time for the Hobbs Eagles to get another point or two in before the quarter ends.
Little surprised that not more pressure going to be applied by the Bulldogs. Not complaining, though.
Yeah, they're going to guard the basket over there.
So it looks like the inbound will come in from Lehman. He'll get it into Mackey with 6 seconds to go. Mackey from the free throw line, and boo, kiss the glass and put it home. 9 points for Mackey, and the shot at the buzzer, no good. We have played one here at Tasker Arena. It is Hobbs 19, Artesia 11. We are back in 1 minute for the second quarter. Hobbs Eagle basketball continues on Cool 95.7. Welcome back to Hobbs Eagle basketball here on Cool 95.7. We had the girls earlier on Eagle 100.5. Your home for the Hobbs Lady Eagles. Our sister station 100.5 with Ron Gunter. I'm TJ Miracles sitting in for Ty Friend. Max Carranza in studio engineering and producing tonight. 19-11. Hobbs in the lead, led by a 9-point first quarter for Michael Mackey, 5 for Jordan Chisholm, and a 3-pointer for Peyton Hodge. Hobbs leading in the rebounding battle too. They had 12 in that first quarter, doing a nice job cleaning the glass, but a little bit of foul trouble could be building for the Eagles, as the next foul is going to put Artesia in the bonus, and we are just now starting the second quarter. Going to be Lehman to inbound it, gets it to Mackey, and he'll just walk it over the Eagle. Mackey, NBA 3 distance. That one is going to be off the mark and off the tip. He'll get his own rebound and tries to get Archibek going to the baseline and just overthrows him. It's just the second turnover for the Eagles.
Yes, and just too difficult to get with one hand. Archibek did, of course, pat him on the back and say, next time we'll get it.
And so into the front court with Jarrett come the Bulldogs. Jarrett near side to Thorpe. He works on Lehman. Get it into Diego Wesson, who goes to the left block, puts up a circus shot, no good, and falling to the floor as Archibek gets his 4th rebound. And wow, they called a travel before he even hit the floor. 3rd turnover for Hobbs. So give it back to Artesia in their offensive zone. 30 seconds gone here in the second. 19-11, Hobbs up by 8. Thorpe will bounce it into Jarrett, wide open, and he will put it off the right glass, and good. Jarrett now with 3 points in the ball game. Artesia strikes first in the second quarter. Hobbs gets it to Lehman to Vega, and they'll move it to Archibek, and they'll toss it back out top of the arc. Coming in is Lehman to Archibek, now to Mackey. Mackey gives it off. Lehman for 3. It's an air ball, but goes into the hands of Archibek, and Hobbs will control it. To Acosta, gets it inside to a cutting Acosta, and he's got his first bucket of the ball game. So 21-13, Hobbs in the lead here in this second quarter. Sanchez, 15-foot fadeaway from the left side, goes over the backboard, give it to the Eagles.
Yeah, just barely, but just enough to where it's out of bounds.
And definitely what you like to see. Yes, Hobbs is up by 7, make it 8 on the scoreboard, but doubling up Artesia in the rebounding category, that gives you more opportunity. So back into Hobbs' hands after it goes over the backboard. To the top of the arc with Archibek. He'll give it right back and set the screen for Mackey. Down to the deep left corner for Vega, and they'll just work it around. 6.5 remaining in the first half. Sling it out to Archibek, hand it to Mackey. More than an NBA 3, top of the arc, and bang! Are you kidding me? 12 points for Michael Mackey. Wesson will control it down on the other end. 24-13, an 11-point Hobbs lead. As Sanchez will direct traffic. They throw it into Thorpe in the right block. He tries to go in on Mackey. A little spin move, puts it up, and he travels. 5th turnover for Artesia. He was working Mackey, trying to get the foul there. The man in stripes didn't see it the way that Artesia's faithful did.
Took a shuffle instead, tried to get around Mackey. Didn't work.
Mackey will take it off the inbound, and he'll bring it down and across the timeline for the Eagles. Come near side to Vega, now into the right corner for Lehman. Now back to Mackey. Works against two Bulldogs. As Thorpe will stay on him as they cycle through. Keep working it around for the Eagles. That's Acosta to Mackey, 18-footer, and gets it home on the right side. Michael Mackey drains another one. He's got 14 points in the ballgame, and Coach Mondragon says, whoa, let's talk about this one. It's a 30-second timeout, so we'll keep it right here. Say a big thanks to all the good folks who make Hobbs Eagle basketball possible, including NMR Pipeline, Thriftway and La Tienda grocery stores, RMS Foods, the Outlaw Grill, Albertsons Market, Eunice Pump and Supply, Devon Energy. I'm sure there is a ton I am forgetting, but we couldn't do it without them, of course. They make it possible for us to provide the video streaming for you as well as the audio stream here on Cool 95.7. For Ty Friend, I'm TJ Miracle. Alongside Ron Gunter tonight here at Tasker Arena. A full basketball weekend and a full basketball night. Tonight Absolutely. Is Hobbs, Lovington, Tatum, and Jowl all in action tonight. Eunice will be in action tomorrow. We've got all of those games for you. Hobbs Lady Eagles winning 67-37 earlier on our sister station, Eagle 100.5, and here on the Hobbs Sports YouTube channel. So back to the action out of the Artesia timeout. They'll give it to Jarrett at the top of the arc. Now swing it back over to Sanchez. Sanchez bounce pass to Thorpe. Hobbs staying on him pretty close. Doing a nice job there. Hernandez back in the ballgame. Gives it to Wesson, who uses up his dribble. Now to Thorpe. To Sanchez, and a nice job cycling around to get to him quickly was Hodge. To Hernandez, and he will push off against Archibek. No call. Puts it up off the glass and right into the hands of Michael Mackey, who's got 7 rebounds. Mackey down. Hands it off. Lehman for 3, and that one is going to be in and out. Nobody underneath to rebound. And it will be Jarrett with his 3rd for Artesia, and there will be a little block foul called as Sanchez charges in, and they are going to whistle Caleb Lehman his first personal, 7th team foul. And so now Artesia going to be in the bonus for the last 4:42 of this half.
Yeah, that's something that Hobbs does get into from time to time is perils as far as personal fouls. They get into the bonus and allow the team to get back into it. As far as Artesia, it looks like they're going to take advantage of that and definitely try to get back into it.
27-13, Hobbs is in the lead and missing the front end of the 1-and-1, but the rebound made initially by Artesia before coming away with it is Hobbs. Nice job by Archibek. He gets his 5th to Mackey down the other way. 12-footer from the right side, and the ball loose on the floor and finally controlled by Zapeth Zamaron. Zamaron to Sanchez as they'll give it underneath to Jarrett on the right base. Puts up a wild one, and Mackey will wind up with it. Pushes it down to Hodge. Drives into the right base. Put it up, and whoa, they call the charge.
Wow.
And so Hodge will have his first personal 8th team foul. It'll be the 4th turnover for the Eagles and give it back to Artesia. The fast break came in and setting the feet just enough to draw the charge was the Bulldogs.
Yeah, sometimes these calls kind of deter the Hobbs Eagles and slow down their offense. Hopefully this time it won't have the same effect.
Jordan Chisholm will check back into the ball game. He'll head in for Chris Archibek. So you've got Hodge, Chisholm, Vega. We'll set the rest of it for you momentarily as Sanchez will bring it across the timeline on the far side. Goes between the legs. He gets a screen from Campbell. Then goes into the left corner for Zamaron to Thorpe. To Wesson as Vega almost knocks it away from him. And they're going to call the travel on Wesson. That'll be the 6th turnover for the Bulldogs. So give it back to Hobbs. Right at the halfway point of this second period. 27-13, a 14-point Hobbs lead. Abraham Pena will inbound it to Hodge, who gives it right back to Pena. Pena pushes to Vega, now back to Hobbs near side. Archibek back in the ball game, now to Chisholm. Hobbs just going to play ring around the arc, looks like, for a moment. As they'll get it to Hodge from the free throw line. 15-footer is good. As a fastball down to Wesson in the deep right corner. Now they'll toss it out to Zamarin, top of the arc. He'll pull the three-point trigger. That one no good. And we're going to have a whistle sound as they're going to get the push foul on Jarrett underneath. I think it's going to be on Jarrett.
Yeah, Artesia trying to do a
Actually
fast
on
break
Campbell.
and try to catch Hobbs off guard. They did not, however, and were unable to get that score. Hobbs ball again.
Leading by 16, 29-13, 3.5 to go as Estrada checks in. Hodge to inbound from left of his own bucket. He'll bounce it into Pena. Abraham, he'll keep it as he works against Sanchez. Still in the backcourt. Now he'll turn on the Jets. Then puts on the stop, gets into the front court, gets the screen from Chisholm to Vega. On the handoff, then we'll reset with Hodge. Hodge comes around, a little head fake. Ooh, almost slips and slides. Now he'll get it back. Goes to the right base, 12-footer, and that one is going to be an air ball. And it'll go onto the floor, and jump ball called, and goes over to Artesia.
Right. Good call on that one. It was a jump ball. Unfortunately, though, it does go back to Artesia.
28-13, Eagles in the lead, though, with 3 minutes to go here in the first half. And this is kind of where Hobbs might be getting into the danger zone a little bit. They get the lead, but then let the other team chip back away at it. 15 points up are the Eagles. Thorpe in front of the student section. Works against Mackey, who's back into the ball game. Sanchez against Hodge, goes to the free throw line, picks it up now to Estrada. Cycles to the left elbow, uses up his dribble, back to Thorpe. Good pressure on by the Hobbs Eagle defense. 2.5 remaining here in the first. Sanchez will settle things down for the Bulldogs. They'll work it out to Zamarin. And then back over to Sanchez. Top of the arc, Estrada thinks about three. Getting to him quickly is Pena. Out of Zamarin in the left wing. Throw it out to Thorpe. There's Thorpe trying to work it in. Sanchez comes near side to Thorpe again, and then tossing it and stolen away. Chisholm will have it, and he will take it coast to coast and lay it up and in. Jordan Chisholm with 7 in the ball game, and timeout taken by Coach Mondragon for the Artesia Bulldogs. 2:07 to go here in the first. It's just a 30. We'll keep it right here. So Hobbs keeping the pressure on, even though they're facing not really foul trouble yet, but knowing that if it gets a little ticky-tacky down there, that Artesia's going to be going to the line.
Yeah, and that's another thing they have problems with, too, especially in the fourth quarter. On some games, they go ahead and get the bonus and allow their opponent to get the line more. Now, Cleveland did that just a couple weeks ago, but luckily for Hobbs, it would have been luckily enough if Cleveland had shot as bad as they did. But unfortunately, they had so many trips to the line, it didn't really matter as much, and that's the reason why Cleveland was able to win. Hopefully this time around it won't be deja vu for the Hobbs Eagles.
Well, right now, the Artesia Bulldogs out shooting Hobbs from the line. They are 6 of 9. Hobbs is 1 of 1. Only had one chance at the free throw line in this one tonight. So it'll be Artesia Bulldog basketball out of their timeout. Sanchez to Thorpe in front of the student section, trying to get the high inlet pass knocked away by Chisholm, and another turnover is going to be forced. Coming down is Mackey. Mackey slips and slides, now gets it to Pena in the right corner for 3. It is off the mark, and Archibek with the rebound, his 6th. Get it underneath to Mackey. The fall away from the left block is up and good. Mackey now with 16 points, 32-13. 90 seconds to go in the first half. Hobbs trying to keep the foot to the pedal. To Estrada on the far side where he works against Pena. Estrada will toss it out, and that one is almost stolen away by Archibek, and he goes sprawling on the floor, and I think it was the midsection that knocked that one out. So it'll be Artesia basketball right at midcourt with 1:23 to go, and Hobbs up by 19.
Yeah, Hobbs playing with a purpose right now, definitely against the Artesia Bulldogs in front of the home crowd.
What did you say the all-time record was earlier?
It is 54-3.
Hobbs wants to make it 55-3. So Thorpe hands it off to Estrada. Bounce it inside to a breaking Sanchez. They lose him, and he goes hard to the rack and up and in. 9 points for Sanchez. 60 seconds to go here in the first half. Hobbs 32, Artesia 15. To Pena at the free throw line. Now to Hodge. Works it down in the right corner. Loses it off of his foot, but Pena's there to save it near side. Takes it to the left elbow. Turnaround from 15. Rattle it home. Count the bucket on the foul. Abraham Pena, his first bucket of the ball game, and he'll go to the line for the and one. Whistle that one on Nia Estrada, his first personal. 7th. Make that the 6th team foul. I keep wanting to give them more fouls than they've got.
Well, you know.
I think it's probably the reflex.
Yeah. You just one turns into two sometimes real quickly, but this time around not so much. But it is good to see more than one player, Mackey, turning on fire.
And Pena up and in. So that'll make it 35-15, a 20-point lead, biggest of the game for the Eagles. Estrada to the free throw line, tosses it to Deans, back in the ball game to a weird, strange shot up high off of the glass by Sanchez. And a whistle going to be sounding as a fight for the rebound happens.
And a jump ball.
It'll be, okay, jump ball. So jump ball, give it to the Eagles with 35 seconds to go and a 20-point lead. And it'll be Hodge who will inbound it to Pena. Pena not going to be in any hurry. Artesia going to drop back in his zone and just let him come across. Hodge to Mackey, who works against Thorpe. Now top of the arc to Archibek. And he'll come near side to Pena. Pena hands back to Mackey, and they'll just flip it over to Hodge. Takes his eye off it in a minute, but corrals it up, and whistle sounds, and Coach Shelby Reeves going to take a timeout with 12.3 seconds remaining here in the half. Surely this is going to be a 30, so we'll just keep it right here.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, he's going to call the full timeout, but we'll still just keep it right here with 12.3 seconds to go. Shelby seeing something down there that he is just not liking at all and wanted to get it straightened out with, still a little time on the clock here in the half.
Well, setting up this, it took him at least 12 seconds before he called the timeout. They couldn't quite set the offense as Shelby wanted it to be, so the timeout was called to see if they can get a final score before the buzzer rings and the first half is over with. I definitely understand that because with most cases, points are a premium, and at this rate, they may not be going to the line nearly as much as they'd like to as far as the charity stripe. So anytime you can get a shot, even if it's at the end of the first half, you definitely want to try and take it or make it the best you can.
Well, and Hobbs on a 14-4 run right now for this second quarter, and they've stretched the lead up to 20. It was 19-11 at the end of the first, so 14 points for the Hobbs Eagles. Actually, a 16-4 run. If my math is right, yeah, it's 16-4 run.
Exactly. You're correct about that.
Me and math do not often get along, so. But a 16-4 run has got Hobbs up by 20. It'll be Hobbs basketball out of the Eagle timeout. And on the inbound, it'll be Braylon Vega. Tosses it into Pena with 10 seconds to go. Pena works it up, tosses near side to Mackey. Mackey tries to drive in and loses the handle on the basketball. 6 turnover for the Eagles, and Sanchez at the buzzer puts it up, and it is no good. We have played a half here at Tasker Arena. It is Hobbs 35, Artesia 15. We'll be back in 3 minutes for your Eagle halftime show here on Cool 95.7 and HobbsAmerica.com. Back here at Tasker Arena, your Hobbs Eagle halftime show. Hobbs leading Artesia 35-15. Sitting in for Ty Friend, I'm TJ Miracle alongside Ron Gunter, Max Carranza in studio engineering and producing. So the 20-point lead here at the half. Let's take a look at the numbers. We'll start with the visiting Artesia Bulldogs. Their leading scorer right now, Nick Sanchez. He had 9 of the 15 in that first half for the Bulldogs. Diego Wesson with 3 points, all coming from the charity stripe. And Riley Jarrett with 3 points in the first half, too. And that's all the scoring for Artesia. Jarrett is their leading rebounder with 3. They've only got 9 collectively as a team. Hobbs has done a very nice job on the boards. 8 turnovers for Artesia in that first half. They go 6 of 9 from the free throw line, get 11 in the first, 4 points only in the second quarter. Great defense for Hobbs. That's how they get to their 15 on the board. Turning the page for your Hobbs Eagles, looking to go to 500 on the season. Michael Mackey having a Michael Mackey-like game. 16 points in the first half to go along with 8 rebounds. He leads in both categories. Jordan Chisholm stepping up big. He's got 7 points in that first half. 5 points for Peyton Hodge. Then you got 3 points for Abraham Pena. 2 points for Brian Acosta and a bucket, 2 for Chris Archibek. Archibek, second on the team in rebounds, had 6 in that first half. 18 rebounds collectively for Hobbs in the first half. Nice stat, even though there's not enough of them. Hobbs goes 100% from the free throw line. They were 2 of 2.
Right, that was Mackey.
Yep. Well, Mackey had 1 and Pena had the other one.
Okay,
So
Pena's good too.
6 turnovers in the first half for the Eagles. 19 points in the first, 16 in the second. That's how they get to their 35 on the board. But Hobbs coming out and playing with a purpose, at least in that first half, looked like, Ron.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And it looked like, especially since he's almost on a double-double right now, that is Mackey. And I'm expecting him to possibly even have a triple-double at the end of the game if he can connect with those assists. Other than that, it's been Mackey, and then Pena's been able to step up a little bit, and so has a couple of other Eagles as well. So it's going to be a good second half as well. You know, they're working on their averages. Right now, Artesia has been averaging 53.5 points a game, while Hobbs has come in. They've gotten a little lower since the last couple of games. It is down to 59.2, but looks like if they keep up this pace, they're going to surpass that 59.2 Hobbs is, and maybe Artesia might be able to eke up to their average if they can get back into the game and start getting some shots to fall.
Well, and I think Hobbs, you know, the key for them in the second half is going to be just keep your foot on the pedal. They've been playing tenacious defense. Nobody really in any foul trouble. Jordan Chisholm has 3, Pena with 2. Really nobody else in any kind of trouble at all. They did pick up, 8 fouls in that first half as a team. They got Artesia in the bonus, but then it seemed like almost when they were trying to not foul them, they almost played more tenacious defense in some ways.
Yeah, exactly. But you know what I'd like to see Hobbs do is to push the ball, get some more offensive rebounds, as well as to see about some more personal fouls called on their favor. That would be great if they get on the line instead of having 2 for 2. They need to work on that line presence because so far they've been around 50% on certain games. If it wasn't for Mackey, they'd probably be even lower to that. So they need to work on that, get a little more aggressive, and see what they can do as far as getting stops on the defense as well.
And what we are saying all here is just a little tic-tac on our part because we're up by 20. I mean,
exactly.
Come on, it's 35-15. But, I know Coach Shelby Reeves and any high school coach you ever talk to will say, doesn't matter if you're up by 2 or down by 20, you've got to continue to work, especially in the pre-district season. You got to continue to work on the things you want to work about, and you learn a lot about your team. And I think that's what Hobbs is going to try to do in this second half as the Eagles come back out on the floor getting ready for the start of this second half. It's Hobbs 35, Artesia 15. We'll be back for the start of the second half right after this. You're listening to Hobbs Eagle Basketball on KLEA Hobbs, Cool 95.7, and watching live and free on the Hobbs Sports YouTube channel and HobbsAmerica.com. Welcome back to Hobbs Eagle Basketball on Cool 95.7, HobbsAmerica.com, and the Hobbs Sports YouTube channel. With Ron Gunter, I'm TJ Miracle sitting in for Ty Friend tonight. Max Carranza in studio engineering and producing. 35-15. The Hobbs Eagles in the lead in their final pre-district tune-up. Of course, before Roswell High comes into town on Tuesday night. We'll be talking more about that, I know, in the post-game show. So getting ready for the start of this one. It'll be Artesia basketball to start the third quarter. And for the Bulldogs, looks like it'll be their starters on the floor. Hobbs going to have Chisholm in to start this third quarter. So the inbound will come to Sanchez, who brings it into the front court, hands it to Jarrett, and then gets it right back as Jarrett sets the screen. Sanchez, though, works the left side, goes from the left wing, puts up a shot, and a bump foul going to be called by Hodge. Bad foul by Hodge, his second personal, first team foul, and it'll put Sanchez at the line for three. If he just took that, I think, to draw the foul and kind of stuck the hip out there, and Hodge unfortunately bit on it. And so Sanchez, who's 2 of 3 from the line, heads back to the stripe.
Yeah, too many players tend to do that, and for better or worse, they do get the call.
And he gets the call, and he gets the first one to fall. So Artesia draws first blood here in the third quarter. They are 7 of 10 from the line for tonight. Second one is up, and it is good.
Sanchez now in double-digit points.
Yes, he is with 11. So he will go back to the line for his third shot. Bends the knees, puts it up, and he gets all 3 of them to fall. So 35-18 off of the 3-shot foul. Now full court pressure going to be on as they'll get it into Mackey. He'll get it to Hodge, who gives it back to Mackey, still in the backcourt, as Michael will bring it across in front of Taskovich. Into the offensive zone come the Eagles. Hand it off to Pena, who gives it to Hodge. Hodge uses up the dribble and then throws it into the first row of the crowd, and that'll be the 7th turnover for the Eagles. I think just a little bit of miscommunication as to what they wanted to run there, as Vega will check into the ball game for the Eagles. He goes in for Hodge as Artesia will inbound it from the far sideline. 7.5 to go in the third. Hobbs 35, Artesia 18 from here at Tasker Arena. Sanchez to the front court, will hand it off to Thorpe. Mackey picks him up, and they'll hand it off to Wesson. Bounce pass underneath to a cutting Sanchez. Circus shot up, attempted, no good, and the ball is loose on the court and finally corralled by Archibek for his 7th rebound. Toss it off. Working around for the Eagles is Pena, and he'll give it over to Mackey. And set the pick with Chisholm. Mackey, 17-foot fall away. Count the bucket and the foul. Are you kidding me? How did that go?
Yeah, that's his sweet spot right there. If he can get a good footing on it, he can make that almost always. And plus, he drew the foul as well. So that's just an icing on the cake.
18 points now for Mackey. Makes it 37-18. Chance to get it back up with 3 the old-fashioned way. Back up to a 20-point lead as Mackey will put it up. He doesn't have a lot of arc in it. He puts it in, though. 38-18. Back up to a 20-point lead for Hobbs. 6:50 remaining here in the third quarter. Sanchez to the front court. He works against Pena. Kicks it into the deep right corner for Wesson. Wesson can be dangerous from over there. He'll bump, no call. Toss it off as they continue to move it around with Campbell. Now back to Sanchez. To Thorpe on the left side. To Jarrett. Takes it to the left block. Puts up a little hook. Ball goes loose on the court, and they're going to call a push foul on the Eagles. And so the push going to be called on Braylon Vega. That'll be his first personal, second team foul on Hobbs. I don't like the calls when they're scrambling around on the floor right there. That seems a bit arbitrary, and I would have said the same thing if it had been called on Artesia.
Exactly.
Now the inbound will come to Jarrett in the right base. He'll turn around, push it up, and the foul going to be called. Chisholm, I think, going to get whistled for his 4th on that one. We'll see for sure what they put up. Yep, it will be on Jordan Chisholm. So that'll be, well, it'll just be his 3rd. I thought it was his 4th. I like 3 better than 4. And Riley Jarrett will go to the line to shoot 2. He's 1 of 2 from the free throw line. As he'll put up the first and gets it to hit off the front of the iron and then go through the strings.
Well, in any case, Chisholm's going to hit that trail as he goes back to the bench.
Well, we'll head over to the bench, and Brian Acosta will check in for him. At the line is Riley Jarrett. Made the first, Eli the second. Puts it up, and that one is no good, and the rebound going to be made by Mackey, his 9th, and a whistle sounds immediately. And they're going to call the push foul on Diego Wesson away from the basketball. His first personal, second team foul on the Bulldogs. So Pena to inbound it after the foul from the baseline.
Mackey went away from a double-double.
Gets it into Vega, now to Mackey on the high pass, still in the backcourt, and they're putting 3 guys on him. To the front court, then give it back to Mackey. Over to Vega in the right base. Puts up the shot. Won't fall. Ball loose on the court. And finally Sanchez will come away with it. Bulldogs are running. Pulls up from the right elbow. That one is going to be too short. And fight for the rebound. And Hobbs will have it. And they will call the foul on Chance Campbell. His second personal, third team foul. Very dangerous. As going down on the basketball was Pena.
Yeah, luckily they can. They're still made of rubber for their age, so they can bounce and not be injured as nearly as much as others.
38-19 is the score. Hobbs in the lead. 6 minutes remaining in the third. Mackey pushes it to Vega, takes it to the free throw line. Turnaround from the elbow, no good. And the rebound by Campbell. And then all of a sudden the Tic Tacs have come out in the whistle corps, and they're going to call the push foul on Vega. His second personal, fourth team foul. And that has really affected the pace of this ball game.
Yes, it does.
So into the front court comes Sanchez as he'll bounce it top of the arc to Jarrett. Jarrett to Campbell. He'll give it to Thorpe. 3, and he is going to be fouled, and they're going to get Mackey. A bad foul for Mackey. Just his first personal, but it's the 5th team foul on the Eagles. The Eagles have got to clean things up down there.
May have misjudged where he was at. That was definitely a 3 shot and shouldn't have gone in so hard. And now he's got him 3 on the line.
All of the points the Bulldogs have in this third quarter from the stripe, and that one is going to miss. So Thorpe misses his first. He's got 2 more to go. Coach Mondragon letting him know he's got to put a little more arc on it.
Right now, Hobbs still doubled up on him, 38-19 on the score.
19-point lead, and the second one is up and good for Thorpe. So his first point of the ball game. Still an 18-point lead for the Eagles. And again, they need to clean things up a little bit out there. You don't want to let Artesia chip away at this from the free throw line with the clock not running. Thorpe gets the second. He's 2 of 3 from the line. 38-21, full court press is on. Pena uses up the dribble to Mackey, back to Pena. Into the deep right corner for Archibald. Back around to Pena, right wing for 3, and bang! Abraham Pena has the 3 ball. 41-21, back to a 20-point lead. Wesson into the front court, back to Sanchez, back to Wesson. They're just going to play catch. Get the high inlet pass and put it up and count the bucket for Chance Campbell. And Hobbs going to pick up another foul underneath on the baseline. And they're going to call the hold foul on, I believe, on Abraham Pena. Yep, it'll be on Pena. So that'll be his third personal, and the 6th team foul on Hobbs. Campbell at the line for the and one. He'll put it up, and he'll rattle that one home. 41-23 is the score. Hobbs still in control of this one, but Artesia trying to chip away and doing it from the free throw line.
And they are pretty good about doing that, too.
Just 1 converted field goal in this third quarter. Their points, though, all coming from the free throw line. 5, 6, 7 of them to be exact. They'll throw it into the front court. Now give it back to Mackey. Mackey into the deep left corner for Pena. Pena drives into the left block, takes it all the way to the hoop, and up and in good. 8 points for Abraham Pena. 43-24. Eagles in the lead as Sanchez back to the front court. He works against Pena. Campbell sets the screen. They'll get it to Estrada in the left wing for 3. That one is going to be off the mark. One of the trees underneath gets the rebound. That Jarrett? Nope, that's Campbell. Campbell gets the rebound and the foul. And they're going to whistle that one on Chris Archibald. That'll be his second personal, 7th team foul. And so now for the remainder of the game, Artesia in the bonus.
Yeah, we don't want that, especially since they've been pretty good or getting better at their free throws.
Campbell makes the first and makes it 43-25. We've still got 4:38 to play here in the third.
Yeah, that's not even mentioning the fourth quarter.
Second one is up for Campbell. That one off the mark, and the rebound going to be skied for and grabbed by Lehman. Toss it over. Mackey back to Lehman. Into the right corner. Pena for three, and that one is off the side of the backboard and finally controlled by Sanchez. He'll push it forward to Estrada. Bounce it to Wesson on the right base. He'll put up a wild shot, and a foul going to be called, and he'll head to the line for two. Another foul. They're starting to mount on the Eagles as they are going to call the hack foul on Archibek. That'll be his third personal, 8-team foul on Hobbs. So now Wesson will head to the line to shoot two.
And that's Archibek's second in a row.
First one up for Wesson is good. He's got 4 points, all of them coming from the free throw line. Artesia putting on a free throw clinic tonight, basically.
Mm-hmm. It looks like they've been working on theirs. They're making almost 90% of it look like.
So they get the first, they'll eye the second. So Wesson got it. Second one is up, and he gets that one to fall. He's got 5 points. 43-27. Hobbs still up by 15, but it ain't comfortable. They'll throw it into the front court, getting it there to Lehman. Now over to Hodge. Hodge drives in, puts up a little 10-foot push shot. It is off the iron, and Wesson will work down the rebound. His first. Wesson to Sanchez, then underneath, and a foul going to be called underneath. As coming out hobbling from the exchange is going to be Caleb Lehman. Going down hard to the court is Peyton Deans, and Deans will head to the line to shoot two.
And Hobbs can ill afford any injuries right now. They're shallow on their bench as it is. 9th
team foul on Hobbs. They do call that on Lehman, his second personal. So now Peyton Deans at the line, and he rolls the first one home. 43-28, and we are just now at the halfway mark of this third period. So Deans, his first point of the ball game. Second one is up, and that'll fall. 43-29. Artesia continues to chip away. And now a whistle sounds, and Coach Shelby Reeves going to take the timeout and try and settle this one down. It is a full timeout. 3:57 to go in the third. Hobbs 43, Artesia 29. We're back in a minute on Cool 95.7. Hobbs Eagle basketball continues on Cool 95.7. Also on the Cool 95.7 Hobbs app, the Hobbs Sports YouTube channel, and HobbsAmerica.com. 43-29, the Eagles up by 14. But at one point we're up by 20. Artesia just chipping away at it. And Hobbs, as a team, getting in some foul trouble. Already 9 fouls here in this second quarter, and we're just barely halfway, or second half, and we're just barely halfway through the third quarter. Lehman going to get mauled, and you're kidding me. They're going to call the jump ball. Wow. Wow.
That was a quick call for a jump ball.
How did they not get Deans over the back on that? And the Hobbs faithful agreeing with me on that one. I'm glad I'm not the only one who saw that. Give it to Pena. He'll pull up from the right side from 15. No good. And the rebound, skying for it and taking it off of the backboard is Jarrett, his fourth. Sanchez will work in the front court against Mackey. Takes it to the left elbow, uses up the dribble, bouncing it to Wesson, who pushes off. No call, puts up the shot, no good. And the rebound will go out, and last touch by Mackey, but Peyton Deans and Diego Wesson, Wesson all over him. The last touch by Mackey. It'll be Estrada to inbound it from left of his own bucket. Gets it into Jarrett. Now over to Sanchez. Sanchez works against Hodge and is just going to back it up and reset. 3:20 remaining in the third. 43-29, 14-point lead for the Eagles. To the left elbow and a push put up and won't fall. And finally, Pena comes away with it. Off of the rebound, his second. Pena to the front court, will give it to Hodge. Hodge going to set the offense as he backs it up into the big Golden H at center court. 3 minutes remaining in the third as Coach Shelby Reeves yells, move. And whistle sounds away from the ball. And we've got a
foreign object.
Foreign object on the floor. The referee goes over and gives that to Athletic Director Brenda Wilson. So Hobbs basketball.
With 2 substitutions for the Bulldogs.
We'll catch those for you here momentarily as the inbound will come to Pena. As he'll come in, take it from the top of the arc for 3. That one is going to be off the mark. And fight for the rebound, and Mackey will come away with his 10th. Goes to the rack and is fouled as Thorpe under there fighting with Mackey. So for Thorpe, his second personal. That's the 4th team foul on the Bulldogs.
Yeah, Mackey was quicker than Thorpe.
Wow, they're going to say that was a floor foul. Looked like Mackey was trying to shoot it, but they decide not. So Hodge will inbound it left of his own bucket from the baseline. Got to get it in, and he'll underhand it, and that one is going to be tipped, and Vega will have to go corral it. Vega near center court gives it to Mackey as Mackey works against Thorpe. Just continues to work near the timeline. Now he'll start it in. Stop and go from the free throw line, and that one's going to be an air ball that'll go out of bounds, and so that'll go into the hands of the Artesia Bulldogs.
That doesn't happen very often to Mackey.
No, it does not. 2:26 to go here in the third quarter. Hobbs' third quarter woes kind of continue, but they're still up by double digits. Artesia into the front court with Deans. And the handoff. Moving it around, that was Hammond. He'll give it to Sanchez, to Deans, back to Sanchez. Sanchez to the left lane and goes hard to the rack and up and in. Nick Sanchez now with 14 points in the ball game. Makes it 43-31. Toss it over to Hodge in the front court. Goes in. The 12-footer is no good. And the rebound is brought down by Jarrett. That'll be his 5th. Artesia down, and they'll bounce it to Sanchez with 1:45 to go. 3-ball on the way. That one is going to be off the mark, and Mackey will have his 11th rebound of the ball game. He's got his double-double with, had it a minute ago, and pocket picked back the other way. Night turnover for the Eagles as Sanchez bounces it to Jarrett. He'll take it to the left block. A little baby hook is up and gets his own rebound. Gets it over the head of Mackey, and then a wild shot is up, and it'll go out of bounds. As they're saying it was tipped. Coach Mondragon lobbying the official on the baseline hard. An Eagle is down in the blocks on the near side. Archibald, I think, caught an elbow in a place that's not so nice to get an elbow.
Well, no place is nice, but yeah, you're right. It's a little more tender.
And then Chance Campbell decides to pop him in the back in front of the referee. No call, and they decide that it is Artesia basketball. So Archibald, he's not feeling too good. He's going to come off. Checking back in. I believe that's Jordan Chisholm. I'll double check it when he turns around and I can catch the number for sure. Yep, it is Chisholm back in the ball game. And so the inbound will come to Sanchez for Artesia. 1:20 to go here in the third. They'll hand it off to Hammond. Hammond pushes over to Thorpe. He'll bounce it back center court. As in is Sanchez as he works against Hodge, and they're going to get Hodge for the block foul. Yep, it'll be on Hodge. His third personal, 10th team foul, and so Artesia's got 9 minutes and 10 seconds in the double bonus.
And This is pretty much what you might expect for the rest of the game, is seeing a lot of trips to the line for the Artesia Bulldogs.
So it'll be Sanchez at the line where he is 5 of 6 and make it 6 of 7. I was hoping the announcer's curse would get him.
Right. Just close that lid and stop him from scoring again.
So he is 4 of 4 here in this third quarter from the line. Takes his second shot, it's up, and it is good. 16 points in the ballgame for Nick Sanchez, and it was once a 20-point lead, is now a 10-point lead. 1 minute to go here in the third. Pena hits it to Lehman. He'll toss it back out. Mackey has to go into the rafters to get it, and he'll drive in, and Mackey going to be fouled. The Artesia faithful booing. Yeah, well, they've been calling that on us for the last 7-8 minutes of clock time. The push foul on Sanchez. That'll be his second personal. Just the 5th team foul on the Bulldogs, so they've still got a couple to give as Diego Wesson will check into the ball game for Sanchez. And it'll be Vega to inbound it for the Eagles. Under a minute to go here in the third. Hobbs leading 43-33, but Artesia chipping at it. The inbound from Vega to Lehman. He'll toss it out, top of the arc, back to Vega. Now to Mackey. He works against Thorpe. Mackey tries to go up and throws it over, saves it. Vega in the right wing for 3. Too hard off the back of the iron. Ball loose on the floor, still loose on the floor, and Thorpe will control it and feed it forward to Wesson, who tosses it underneath and up and in. Getting it to fall is going to be Riley Jarrett. And full court press is on. Hammond with pressure, getting it away. Now they'll get it to Mackey into the left lane with the left hand, and up and in for Mackey. 21 for Michael Mackey, right under his season average to Hammond. Drives in, and is it going to be a charge or is it going to be a block? And Vega didn't get the feet set, so I think it is going to be the charge, and Hammond will go to the line. See for sure who they're going to put that up on. Actually, they're going to whistle that on Mackey.
Right.
His second personal. The 11th team foul, not that it really matters, because it's double bonus all the way from here on. So Hammond at the line. Hobbs up by 10, 45-35, and Hammond bricks the first one.
Yeah, hit the back of the rim and just never had a chance.
So the score remains 45-35, still a 10-point Hobbs Eagle lead. It's 20 points at the half. They've chipped it away by 10, and most of it coming from the free throw line. Hammond's second is up, and that one is going to be off the mark, and the rebound brought down by the Eagles and Acosta. So forward to Pena, put it up and count the, whoa, they call the charge on Pena. Wow.
That is at least twice that has happened, and just unsure if that was had his feet set, but doesn't really matter at this point.
That'll be the 4th personal on Pena. And he's going to have to check out and sit. No, Pena's still out there.
Yeah.
I can't believe Coach Reeves is keeping him out there. Nope, now we'll go ahead and send him off. As checking in his place is going to be Caleb Lehman. So the inbound from Estrada comes to Sanchez. He'll take it right in on Lehman at the free throw line. Turnaround jumper from there. It is clinking off the front of the iron. Chisholm has his 4th rebound, and they will launch it at the buzzer. No good. So we head to the 4th. We got a ball game here at Tasker Arena. It's Hobbs 45, Artesia 35. We will be back in 1 minute for the 4th quarter. Hobbs Eagle basketball continues on Cool 95.7. Back here at Tasker Arena, start of the fourth quarter, Hobbs and Artesia. The Eagles lead by 10, 45-35. But Artesia in the double bonus is chipping away. They had 19 free throws in that third quarter. They went 14-19 from the line. So they've been able to chip away at it with the clock not ticking. For Ty Friend, I'm TJ Miracle alongside Ron Gunter tonight. Max Carranza in studio engineering and producing. So Hobbs has to find some offense out there. Michael Mackey with 2 fouls, but Abraham Pena having to sit with 4. And it'll be Artesia basketball as we start this fourth quarter. As Wesson will bring it to the front court, hand it off to Thorpe, where he works against Vega, uses up the dribble. Back to Wesson, who thinks about the 3, then he'll pick up dribble top of the arc. To Sanchez, who's going to set up the offense and brings it and cycles to the right side. Bounces inside, trying to get it in to Campbell, and Campbell, it is stripped away from him. 9th turnover for the Bulldogs, going back coast to coast, and Sanchez will strip it away from Mackey. It'll stay Hobbs basketball.
That's usually an automatic shot for Mackey, but that time just didn't work out.
Yeah, Sanchez with good hustle to get back. You got Chisholm, Lehman, Vega, as the inbound will come to Lehman. Now they'll get it top of the arc to Acosta. Now to Chisholm, 16-footer from the right side, rolls in and out. How did that not drop? And it'll be Jarrett with his 7th rebound of the ball game. Into the front court come the Bulldogs. Little spin move and throw it in to Campbell, and his point-blank shot won't go. The long rebound out of the tip by Sanchez, his 4th. So Artesia will have a chance to reset the offense. 1 minute gone here in the fourth as Wesson drives into the left side, and they are going to call the block. Now, from here, it looked like the feet were set for Lehman, but the referees do not agree with me. His 3rd personal, 13th team foul, and Diego Wesson heads to the line for 2.
Yeah, the unfortunately of it all is the simple fact of it's just a mere call on how you see it, and unfortunately, it was seen as a charge and not a block, not a charge.
So Wesson will head to the line for the 4th time tonight. Trying to get this to a 3-possession ball game, a 3 traditional possession ball game, I should say. As the first one is up and good. Wesson with 6 points, and it is a 9-point Eagle lead. 7:01 to go here in this fourth quarter.
The only saving grace so far for the Hobbs Eagles is the fact that Artesia has not hit very many 3-pointers
and they
in
haven't,
this game.
Yeah, they hadn't hit many field goals either. That shot is going to be up and out, and Jarrett touches it last, so the Hobbs Eagles will get the basketball back as Vega will inbound it to Mackey as we click under 7 to play here in the ball game. Mackey and Lehman going to play catch, and they'll get it to Vega in the front court, almost loses it, pushes it out to Mackey in front of Taskovich. So Mackey with it, gets the pick from Chisholm, tries to go left side and is pushed out by the Bulldogs. Lehman to Mackey, working that right side. Thorpe stays with him. He has been on him tight all night. Nice little spin move as Mackey goes into the lane, puts up the shot, and it is off the mark, but the foul going to be called. Surely they're not going to call the charge.
No, they did not. And who's Shirley?
I don't know, and they will whistle that one on Peyton Deans, his 1st personal 6-team foul. The Artesia faithful wanting the charge. Hey,
Absolutely.
we don't get it, you don't either.
Exactly, both ways.
As long as you're calling it both ways, I'm fine with that. As Mackey at the line, puts up the first, it's good. 22 points for Michael Mackey. So right at his season average now, and gets it back to a 10-point Hobbs lead, 46-36. 6.5 remaining in the ball game. Hobbs trying to hang on. Mackey's 2nd is up and gets the shooter's roll. An 11-point Hobbs Eagle lead, 6.5 to go. Using up the dribble in the backcourt is Peyton Deans. Near side is Hobbs going to start pressuring, and timeout going to be taken by Coach Michael Mondragon. He says he wants a 30. I don't have him as having any 30s left, but anyway, 6:25 remaining in the ball game. It's Hobbs 47, Artesia 36. We're back in a minute on Cool 95.7. Welcome back to Tasker Arena. Hobbs Eagle basketball here on Cool 95.7, HobbsAmerica.com, and the Hobbs Sports YouTube channel. Out of the Artesia timeout, it'll be Bulldog basketball. Eagles leading by 11, as much as 20 at one point. Artesia chipped it down to as little as 9, but Hobbs has stretched it back out by a bucket. So it'll be Artesia basketball as we click down to 6:20 remaining in the ball game. To Thorpe in the far side. He'll bounce it back out to Wesson. Wesson works against Vega, drives into the paint, trying to draw the foul, puts up a wild shot, and it'll go out of bounds, and last touch by Jarrett. And Ron, you've got to think at some point it almost looks like Artesia, they're not playing for buckets, they're playing for fouls. Yeah, and the inbound almost stolen away, and they are going to whistle Sanchez, who can't believe he got whistled for the foul. It was a foul, kid. You hit Lehman in the back. 7th team foul on Artesia, so we'll take the 80-foot walk and go shoot 1 and 1. So finally Hobbs in the bonus and can shoot some free throws.
And there's the other problem too. If you get so many times get the foul call for you, then it's you almost always think it's automatic. It's going to be for you and not against you. And then you question it once it is called against you, and that's just sad. It's just take it and go. It's just a foul.
Caleb Lehman at the line will shoot the 1 and 1. Hobbs up by 11, 47-36. Caleb bends the knees, puts up the first, and it is off the mark, and the rebound going to be made by Wesson. Wesson's second board of the ball game. He'll keep it himself as he works against Caleb into the front court. Comes to the right side, picks up the dribble, bouncing it in to Jarrett on the right block, and his shot is up. It won't fall, and Chisholm has his 5th rebound of the ball game. Gives it to Mackey. He'll weave through traffic and lean in, put up the shot, no good, and Mackey will head back to the line for 2. See if it's on Deans or Jarrett. They were both in the neighborhood, and Sanchez is arguing about it, and they're going to whistle that one on Peyton Deans, his 2nd personal 8-team foul. So at the line will be Michael Mackey.
And that's one of the things that Michael Mackey does. When he's doing well, he forces the tempo. He goes in, he drives the lane, he forces them to try to foul him to stop him from scoring, and sometimes it doesn't work.
First shot for Mackey is up and good. He's got 24 in the ball game, leads the way for the Hobbs Eagles, leads the way for everybody. So now 48-36. It's important to note that makes it a 4-possession ball game. 4 traditional possessions. There is such a thing as a 4-point play, although you rarely see it.
Right.
So Mackey hits the first, gets the ball back, and now he will shoot the second. Bends the knees, eyes it, skies it, and that one clinks off the front of the iron, and that's Campbell with his 4th rebound of the ball game. Deans will run the point, takes it across the timeline against pressure from Mackey. Over to Thorpe in the far side. Hodge back in the ball game. Bounce it out to Sanchez. Little shake and bake move from the free throw line. Slips and slides, puts up the shot. Winds up with his own rebound, and his putback is up, and it's good. He's got 18 in the ball game. 48-38, 10-point lead. Hodge will take it coast to coast off the inbound and lay it off the right side and up and in. 7 points for Peyton Hodge. Back the other way. Sanchez puts up a 7-footer, misses it, gets his own rebound. His turnaround, though, as his putback will fall, and he's fouled. He'll head to the line for the and 1. They're going to get Hodge, looks like. Nope, they're going to call that on Jordan Chisholm. That'll be his 4th personal. Not that it matters, but it's the 14th team foul on Hobbs.
Starting to look like the defenses on both sides are starting to fall asleep, at least on coverage. They're trying to get it, but they're not quite there, and they're just about a step behind, and that's the reason why sometimes you get that foul.
So Sanchez at the line for 3 the old-fashioned way, and he will get it. 21 points for Nick Sanchez in this one, 50-41. 9-point lead as Artesia chips it to a 3-possession ball game. Into the front court with Acosta. Acosta to Mackey, 12, make that an 18-footer, no good. The rebound going to be brought down by Chisholm, his 6th, and he's fouled. Jordan will head to the line as they're going to call the hack foul on Campbell, his 3rd personal. That'll be the 9th team foul. So is it a 1 and 1 or is it a 2-shot foul? I'm thinking it's a 2-shotter. Yep, it'll be 2. Thank you, Mr. Referee. Wonder if he's listening down there. If he is, he hadn't teed me up yet, so that's probably a good thing. Chisholm at the line, puts up the first, in and out. Hobbs is so far 50-50 from the free throw line here in the 4th quarter. 3 of 6 now.
Chisholm not one of their better free throwers, but he does adjust in the second one, and usually he makes it.
So the second one for Chisholm is up and doesn't get the roll, but Mackey is there with the rebound. His putback won't go, but he's fouled. Now it'll be Mackey at the line for 2.
Looks like that's going to be called on Campbell again.
Looks like they're going to call
this time not.
Yeah, they're going to whistle that one on Nia Estrada, his second personal, and that'll put Hobbs in the double bonus. So now it'll be a free throw shooting contest from here on out.
Yep.
So Mackey at the line with 24. And make it 25. And back to a 10-point lead, more importantly, 51-41. On the floor for your Hobbs Eagles, you got Brian Acosta, Peyton Hodge, Jordan Chisholm, Braylon Vega, and Michael Mackey. So Mackey got the first one to fall. Eyes the second, and he gets them both. 26 points in the books for Michael Mackey. 52-41. Back to a 4-possession ball game. Little pressure on now for the Eagles. 4:50 remaining. Sanchez, top of the arc. He works against Mackey. A little spin move to the left block. Puts up a shot, partially blocked, and it'll go into the hands of the Eagles. Back down comes Hodge, coast to coast, and lay it up and in. Peyton Hodge now with 9 in the ball game.
Something Hobbs hasn't had in the past is some decisive shots, especially driving down the lane.
54-41 and timeout taken by Coach Michael Mondragon with 4:28 remaining in the ball game. Hobbs 54, Artesia 41. We're back in 60 seconds on Cool 95.7. Back here at Tasker Arena out of the Artesia timeout. It'll be Bulldog basketball. Hobbs leading 54-41. Hobbs in this fourth quarter is on a 9-6 run, and they've stretched it back out to a 13-point lead. As Sanchez will get the inbound, we get back to the action on the court here at Ralph Tasker Arena. Near side to Wesson as Vega picks him up. They'll come to Estrada, then back to Wesson. He'll cycle around, goes into the left lane, and then no-look pass underneath. And missing it point blank is Campbell, and it'll be Chisholm with another rebound, his 7th, but he is going to get stolen away from him. And a shot up and no good, and the rebound point blank by Sanchez. His shot won't fall, and then we'll have a foul called on the ensuing rebound.
Yeah, 2 tries for Sanchez, wasn't able to get it in there. Luckily enough for Hobbs, they were able to get that 3rd try away from him, and the foul as well.
And they are going to call that foul on Diego Weston. That'll be his 3rd personal. And that'll be the 11th team foul on them. And so Jordan Chisholm, he'll take the 85-foot walk down after his 8th rebound of the ball game. Chisholm 0 for 2 at the line. Let's see if he can adjust. Give Hobbs more of a lead. And that one's going to be too hard and off the mark. So the lead stays 13. That is still 4+ possessions. So Chisholm at the line. Just needs to take a deep breath and work on the arc a little bit.
Exactly.
Second shot is up for Chisholm, and he adjusts and gets that one to fall. 8 points in the game for Jordan Chisholm, 8 and 8. 8 points, 8 rebounds. 55-41, under 4 to play in the ball game. Hobbs back up by 14. Sanchez to the front court, works against Vega. Backs it up between the rings, and then gets a little closer to the timeline before he turns it to the left side. Uses up his dribble, has to toss it back out to Jarrett. Swing it around to Thorpe and then inside to Campbell. His turnaround from 5 won't fall. And the rebound is going to be ripped down by Acosta, his second. And Acosta trying to get, I don't know if it was Chisholm or Hodge. Both of them were breaking down on the fast break, and it's just thrown away. 12th turnover for the Eagles.
Looked like it was for Chisholm either way, overthrown and out of bounds.
So Riley Jarrett will inbound it. Is Artesia going to have to quit playing? I'm thinking at some point here pretty quick for the fouls and start playing maybe for 3 balls. Backcourt pressure on as Hammond to the front court. Tosses over to Thorpe. They'll work it around to Sanchez. Vega stays close to him as Sanchez goes to the free throw line, weaves through traffic and up off the glass and kisses it home. 23 points for Nick Sanchez. And the Bulldogs still with a heartbeat, 55-43. As Mackey goes through traffic and loses it, and a foul going to be called. And they're going to call Mackey for the charge. Mackey's 3rd personal, 13th turnover for Hobbs, and give it back to Artesia.
I was more concerned about the fact that Mackey could have gotten hurt. He got hit him right in the face. His face hit him right in the chest, and that could have done some major damage to Mackey. Luckily, he was able to roll out of it and just keep going.
Coach Shelby Reeves is saying, come on, man. He's saying the same thing you are. He's like, they're under there fighting, and you whistle my guy. And he also, I think, was singing foot shuffling, among other things.
Right.
Couldn't have been too bad. He didn't get teed up. So Wesson to the front court with 2:50 remaining in the ballgame. A 12-point lead for our Hobbs Eagles. Sanchez bounces it underneath. Oh, yeah, he slipped and slid as Coach Michael Mondragon, he's barking the other way. That's just the 11th turnover for the Bulldogs. They're winning in that category right now.
I'm sorry, even the blind ref could see that was a travel.
And timeout going to be taken by the Eagles. 2:47 to go in the ballgame. Let's see if this is a 30 or a 60. So Hobbs taking the timeout. And it will be a 60, so we'll take it to Hobbs Eagle basketball here on Cool 95.7. Eagles leading 55-43. We're back in 30 seconds. Back here at Task Arena, the Hobbs Eagles taking a timeout. They are in the lead 55-43. Sitting in for Ty Friend, I'm TJ Miracle alongside Ron Gunter, Max Carranza in studio engineering and producing. So the Eagles up by 12, a full 4-possession ball game. They seem to have kind of settled things down here in the 4th quarter, Ron.
So far, so good. It's still 2:47 left. You know, it could be anybody's ball game, but if Hobbs plays it tight like they are guaranteed a victory.
And that would get them to 500 going into the district schedule as Braylon Vega will inbound it. Full court pressure is on. Mackey popped in the face by Thorpe, not called. He'll take it to the rack, puts up the shot, no good. But he is fouled as the block foul going to be called on Jarrett. His 3rd personal, and Mackey heads to the line for 2.
And sometimes you got to take it on your own and just drive the lane and draw the foul as well.
And I thought he got fouled in front of the student section down here. It looked like he caught an elbow in the chin, but he kept moving it. So at the line, Michael Mackey shoots 2. First one up, and he gets it. 6 points in this 4th quarter for Mackey, all coming from the free throw line.
Yeah, he just had a purpose. He wanted to drive the lane and get the bucket in.
Didn't get the bucket to fall, but he gets an opportunity, and he gets the roll on that one, bounces home. 28 points for Michael Mackey, 57-43. Eagles back up by 14 to Sanchez. He'll shake and bake, underhand it to Wesson, who drives into the paint, and he's going to get fouled. Out of control, hippity-hopping through the lane, and managed to get one of the Hobbs Eagles to bite on it. And that bite will be on Braylon Vega, his 3rd personal, 15th team foul on the Eagles. So Wesson to the line to shoot 2.
No, I just realized that Vega hasn't had any points this game. That is unusual for him.
Wesson's first is up, and he gets that one to go. 7 points for Diego Wesson, and all 7 of them coming from the free throw line. Not sure the last time I saw that happen.
I'm sure he could say the same thing.
At least for 7, going on 10 points. Make it 8 points now for Wesson, all from the free throw line. And again, I've called a lot of Artesia games doing Lovington over the years. So into the front court, it'll be Vega. Picks up the dribble, needs some help. He'll get it from Hodge. He'll go into the left lane, puts up a little push shot, no good, and he is fouled. No, they are going to call him for the charge.
Amazing.
4th personal on Hodge, 14th turnover on the Eagles. And that's probably 3 of Vega's. Oh, that's the 5th on Hodge. I missed one. Of Hobbs' 14 turnovers, 6 of them have been charges. I think there's been 1 that went the other way.
Well, this Artesia team had 7 free throws at the end of the Cleveland game to win that one.
57-45, 12-point lead as we click down to 2 minutes to go. Hobbs in the lead. Wesson to Sanchez. He'll drive in, and he's going to get blocked away, and it'll be stolen away. Hobbs Eagle basketball. Coming back are the Eagles as Pena fastball to Vega on the far side. Waits for help. He'll toss it over to Acosta as Acosta works against Jarrett. Drives in on the right base and is going to be pushed out and cycles it through. Under 2 to go. Acosta picks up the dribble and will hand it to Vega. Vega pushing it back out onto the far side with Acosta. Just hand it off to Pena. If you're Hobbs here, you can afford to just run as much clock as you want to. To Chisholm in the far corner, and Wesson going to get called for the foul. And Wesson arguing it. That was actually a good foul, kid. It stops the clock with 90 seconds to go. That'll be his 4th personal. 12th team foul on Artesia, and it'll put Jordan Chisholm at the line. If you're Artesia, and I like Jordan, but he's probably the one you want at the line if you're trying to come back with 90 seconds to go, trailing by 4 possessions.
Absolutely. He is about 50% for the season as well as today.
And he's only 1 of 5 today, so
he's not even doing that good.
So Chisholm misses the first. He'll eye the second. And he is going to have that one off the mark, and Jarrett will corral it in the deep left corner for his 8th rebound. Under 90 seconds to play, and a bad pass, and the Eagles will get it back. Ooh, nifty little move behind the back for Acosta, but he loses the basketball into the hands of the Bulldogs. Hammond to the front court, to the left corner for Sanchez, partially tipped for 3. That one not going to go, and off of the tip, the rebound by Vega, his first. Vega to Mackey, underneath to Chisholm on the right side, and lay it in.
Alley-oop.
10 points for Jordan Chisholm. And the Eagles now up by 14, 59-45. Wesson to the front court. Pushes off, uses up the dribble, tries to push it in, and that one is going to be blocked, and they are going to call jump ball and Eagle basketball. 14th turnover for the Bulldogs as the orange-clad Boo Birds are out.
A call goes for Hobbs.
59-45, 48 seconds to go. Hobbs will advance to 10-10, get back to 500. The fastball to Chisholm again, this time on the left glass, and kiss it home. 61-45, Hobbs stretching it back out. Thorpe, NBA 3 from the left side. And on the rebound, it'll be Sanchez, and he'll come in. And a 2-pointer for Sanchez. And timeout going to be taken by Artesia. 28 seconds to go. We'll just keep it right here. So the Eagles going to be up at 10-10. Artesia going to drop to 10-9. But this has to be a bit of a relief for the Eagles against a tough Artesia team, Ron.
Yeah, a 2-game winning streak is what Artesia came into. While Hobbs had a great 3-game losing streak, yeah, they played some really tough opponents. However, you want to wash that taste out of your mouth, that losing taste out of your mouth, especially right before district. They are happy with this outcome. I'm sure there's still some things they need to work on, as every good team should. But right now, they're just going to be enjoying the victory when it happens.
Yes, they will be. And going into the weekend, always a good thing before district starts on Tuesday night. So Artesia, if I'm not mistaken, that is their final timeout. And yes, it will be their final timeout. So Hobbs improving to 10-10 on the year. And one thing about this Artesia team, they play a lot like Carlsbad. And so Hobbs can maybe take some lessons out of this game and apply them when they get there in a couple of weeks.
Yes.
At least with the size and the physicality, if nothing else. So 28.8 seconds to go. The Eagles leading 61-47 over the Artesia Bulldogs.
And this has been pretty much everything we thought it would be, lived up to the expectations. And Hobbs has come out and continued their winning streak against this Artesia Bulldog team.
So for the Eagles, it'll be Hobbs basketball, and inbounding it'll be Braylon Vega. He'll get it in to Acosta, and then they'll toss it down to Pena. He runs to the right lane, and on the fast break up and in, 10 points for Abraham Pena. So Hobbs, another man in double digits tonight. Sanchez for three, and he is blocked by Mackey. Huge block for Mackey. He'll bring it down himself, and he gets stripped out from behind by Hammond. It'll stay Hobbs basketball. Under 11, well, right at 12 seconds to play. 63-47 as they start the bus chants. Start up from the student section.
Yes, indeed. They love to say it. They give that chant as the game is about to wind up.
So it'll be Vega to inbound it from the left baseline. He'll swing it into Pena. They'll get it out center court, and just dribbling it out will be Acosta with 7, with 6, with 5. Artesia coming in as Acosta just goes through him and dribbles it out, and the Hobbs Eagles victorious tonight, 63-47 over the Artesia Bulldogs. We'll take a 3-minute timeout, come back and wrap this one up. This is Hobbs Eagle basketball on Cool 95.7. Back here at Tasker Arena, Hobbs Eagle postgame show here on Eagle 100, or here on Cool 95.7. Hobbs Eagle basketball, your radio home for the Eagles for 57 seasons. Here on Cool 95.7. Eagles victorious tonight 63-47 over the visiting Artesia Bulldogs and improved to 10-10 on the year, but more importantly, get back on the winning track. Let's take a look at the numbers in this one. We'll start with the visiting Artesia Bulldogs. Their leading scorer tonight was Nick Sanchez. He had 25 points. He poured those in against Hobbs. He also had 8 rebounds in the losing cause for Artesia. 8 points for Diego Wesson, 6 points for Riley Jarrett, 4 points Chance Campbell, then a bucket each for Peyton Deans and Cameron Thorpe. Artesia had plenty of opportunities at the line tonight. They go 24 of 33 from the free throw line, and it looks like they got 26 rebounds collectively as a team. Sanchez and Jarrett each with 8. Turned the ball over 15 times on the night, get 11 points in the first, 4 in the second. Really chipped away and made it a game in the third with a 20-point third quarter, then 12 in the fourth. That's how they get to their 47. Turning the page for your Hobbs Eagles. Leading scorer tonight was Michael Mackey, 28 points. A superb performance for Mackey tonight. He was also the high rebound man with 12 rebounds, so the double-double tonight for Michael Mackey. 3 Eagles in double digits, though. Jordan Chisholm with 11. He also chipped in 8 rebounds, 10 points for Abraham Pena. A couple of rebounds. Peyton Hodge with 9 points, just missing double digits. Then you had 2 points in the books for Brian Acosta, 2 points for Chris Archibek. As we mentioned, Mackey, the high rebound man with 12, 34 rebounds as a team for the Eagles. They go 11 of 18 from the free throw line, so a little bit above their season average of about 50-50. So not too bad right there. 15 turnovers on the night for Hobbs. Very consistent for the most part in scoring. 19 in the first, 16 in the second, only 10 in the third, but then they poured on 18 in the fourth to get to their 63. So Artesia will drop to 10-9 on the year. They've still got one more tune-up on Tuesday before they start district next Friday against Lovington in Lovington. And for Hobbs, they go to 10-10 as they start district on Tuesday night against Roswell High. The boys will be here at Tasker Arena while the girls will be on the road. So final thoughts on this one tonight, Ron?
It looks like they've learned from their 3-game losing streak as far as being able to work together in the fourth quarter and the third quarter as well. It didn't work. I mean, there was a lot of fouls in the third quarter. We were expecting a whole lot more in the fourth quarter, but you know what? Hobbs did not foul as much. We were expecting the Artesia Bulldogs to be on the line more. They were not. And in the end, it was all about Hobbs being able to get the ball. They would steal them, get the ball back on rebounds. Whatever they did, they got back on the offensive side, were able to make those quick shots, and before you knew it, Hobbs was in a big lead, and they had control of the game, and that was what we wanted to see. We wanted to see them take control at home and get back on the winning way as we're about to get into district.
And district will start on Tuesday night. Of course, the Hobbs boys will take on Roswell High, 7 o'clock Tuesday night right here at Tasker Arena. You can hear that game here on Cool 95.7 and watch on the Hobbs Sports YouTube channel. The Ty Friend will be back, and I'm sure most people are probably quite happy about that, alongside Ron Gunter. Hobbs Lady Eagles, we are your home for the Lady Eagles as well. They'll be on our sister station, Eagle 100.5, with streaming coverage also available at hobbsamerica.com and the Lee County News and Sports YouTube channel. Check out our Facebook page throughout the week. We will have the full schedule up for you for Eagles and Lady Eagles basketball from New Walmart Digital and One Radio Square Sports, your home for all Lee County sports. So the Eagles come in, open up the big lead. Artesia chips away. Then Hobbs stretches it back out at the end. They are victorious tonight by a final of 63-47. For Ty Friend and Ron Gunter, I'm TJ Miracle saying so long from Tasker Arena. This has been an exclusive presentation of Cool 95.7 and New Walmart Broadcasting Sports. Good night and have a great weekend, everybody.